What's up, players? Welcome to a very special episode 100 of Ready Press Play. This is it. We actually, you know what? Yeah.
Round of applause.
Yeah.
All right. This is Ready Play Network. We actually are Ready Play Network. We got. I am the founder, the only sole founder.
Shut up.
Okay, whatever.
Taking all the credit.
I know, right? I'm your host for the day since I host the even episodes. I'm Luis Menchaca, and my co-founder, Mr. Daniel Lima, right over here.
What's up, Luis?
In person. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We
can feel each other.
Harry Potter's like, I can.
We can do the ET thing.
Yeah.
The operator of the Ready Press Play TikTok, Miss Leah Lisi.
Hello.
Let's go.
You're kind of putting her on the spot now because I don't think that TikTok has been updated in months.
You got us to like 1,000 plays or something like that, right? Or something like 500 followers or something. I forgot what you did. You did the damn thing.
I did. And
Yeah, y'all got a marketer.
Yeah.
To market.
Shout out. She did a really good job on the TikTok.
Thank you.
The composer. You guys heard the music at the beginning, and he did Ready Play Movies. He did Ready Press Play. Now you're making your official Ready Press Play appearance on episode 100. It's Mr. Joel Perez.
What's up, guys? It's an honor to be here on the 100th episode with this
it
esteemed cast of characters.
I keep interrupting people. So it only took him like a month to get us our official theme. It was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was good. It was good.
This is good
I was
shit.
busy. I was busy.
You're calling me out? You're calling him out?
It got done. Goddamn.
Yeah, exactly. That Metroid-inspired theme. It's like, that slaps. And yes, it sounded like Metroid to me, to tell you the truth. But I don't know what your inspiration was. Actually, before I introduce you, sorry, but Joel, what was your inspiration for that track?
I had to get it done. There was no inspiration. I just got on.
I thought it sounded video game.
Troy knows. I just kind of start and then it just comes out. I don't really know how I do it. Just
Okay, cool.
And the reason I say that is that like each one came out just the way it was supposed to come out. I feel like I didn't really notice how much I liked them until I would like actually listen to the podcast and listen to it in the context of the podcast. It flows better because when it goes in, it just you listen to it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's podcast music. I don't know. It kind of just that's the first time I ever tried it, and I'm glad I did because I don't know. I want to keep doing stuff like that.
And finally, rounding it out, it is the co-host of Ready Play Movies, Mr. Troy Bracey.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hey.
Troy Bracey
here. Troy Bracey.
It's good to make my debut on the other podcast.
Oh yeah, that's right. You haven't been on Ready Press Play. That's right.
No, sir.
Yeah, but you know what's kind of funny is like we actually talk a lot of about video games, off camera. Like
just talking.
He knows your shit. You know, he's going back and forth between the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, and I'm trying to slap him and be like, bitch, go with the Series X, and you're like, no, man, the Series S is like. Whatever. So yeah, this is it. Like it's really weird how like I assembled the Avengers and there's like nothing to fight. You know what I mean?
That's funny. That's a good
Who
one.
gets to be who?
I'll finish it myself.
Like, I'm obviously Black Widow, but who gets to be who?
I'm Nick Fury.
Yeah, Nick.
We got ours is the easiest to figure out.
What do you think you'd be, Luis?
I don't even know, to tell you the truth. I'd be like the guy. I'd be the guy on Ant-Man.
Oh my God.
Played by the guy that does the cutaway gags. The one he's like, so Holmes. He was like,
Michael
Pena's character,
Yes.
which is oddly his name is Luis.
Honestly, though, that's one of the best characters on the MCU. To be honest. That's a great ass character.
It is.
Yeah.
Joel, who would you be?
Out of the Avengers, I don't know. I never really thought about that. Now that we have so many,
Probably like Spider-Man.
I like Spider-Man, man. Spider-Man, probably. Yeah, he's right. Spider-Man. That's my
He
jam.
strikes me like Iron Man a little bit.
Iron Man.
Nah, just because I'm short. Well, Peter Parker.
Peter
Parker's
Iron Man
short,
was even
though.
short.
Peter Parker's short.
Yeah.
Peter Parker short. But yeah,
As long as it's a short guy.
honestly, to tell you the truth,
Who'd you be?
I don't know.
Lewis, I just want to say, you said you weren't going to wear that shirt to this podcast, and you did.
you know what? I forgot to change my shirt.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot to change my shirt.
So I was
We
hoping
started
you-
rolling and started recording, but you know what?
That's what everyone calling everyone out in this.
I'm sorry.
I just felt like I had to do it.
it was It was a
For the
pain in
sake
the
of it.
ass getting this all set up, and it looks all clean and clean as hell on camera. But there's just so much wires and so much shenanigans happening here that it's like you have to like walk over a minefield and stuff like that.
How
was
do you
second
feel
camera.
was about like how does it compare to do the podcast remotely like we typically do versus doing it in person? I know you've done it a bunch of in-person podcasts. Which one do you prefer, or what are the differences for you?
Well, okay, so doing in-person podcasts, you kind of there's an energy in the room that you just sort of like, especially how we're all like just bantering and stuff like that. There's no
Yeah.
delay. There's like I don't know. There's like something about it that's a little bit more energetic that you just can't quite capture over like a FaceTime call or a Zoom call. I don't know. Does it feel different for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I only realized now as we started doing this, but this might be the first time that I do a podcast like this, actually. Other than like the one time that Leah and I recorded something together for Ready Press Play, but
I
like,
was in the closet, and then you were in the like.
oh yeah, that's right. Not even that, because we just figured it would be easy to do the setup and the editing and everything. We're just in separate rooms and then just.
You mean the Valentine's Day episode that I was?
Oh wait, no, I was
Oh,
there
no.
for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that we did
Yeah.
the three of us together.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm
Yeah.
confused. You were in the closet for one of the episodes?
So there was an
Like, what was
episode.
going-
There was an
now.
there was an
Oh my god.
there was an episode of Ready Press Play where she was guesting, and so instead of having them both in their apartment, whatever, recording, they recorded in separate rooms. So she was in the closet, he was in this
our
room,
audio
and
didn't
I
bleed
was.
over.
So the
okay,
audio,
I
yeah,
got you,
the
I got
audio
you.
didn't bleed
Oh,
over.
okay, cool.
But yeah, I guess other than the one time that we did like that Valentine's Day thing, that this is pretty much the first time that we're recording something like this.
Yeah, the Valentine's Day episode. I figured this, since they're married, I figured they'd do the Lovebird special.
Lovers.
So I'm like,
dope.
do it,
That's
and then
dope. That's dope.
so yeah, that
That was
was.
such a fun episode.
Yeah, that was.
It was a good one. It was a good one. And we also, I guess I'll give you guys a little announcement. So basically, this is episode 100. We're dropping it on December 10th, which is whenever episode 100 would land. So right now we're recording in September because we had to arrange for people to fly and all that stuff. So it's like it was a huge thing. And so we can't tell you about what's happening in the news right now. So we're just going to sort of like just talk about whatever.
We can try to predict.
We're going to try to predict.
What will we have known? Like, will Halo Infinite have been delayed again?
Oh, because Halo Infinite would be out by now.
Oh, really?
Wait,
The
just-
it's on the second round, I think, of beta playing this
When-
week.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite's release date would be the week prior, the Friday prior to
Are you
this.
sure? December 8th, isn't it? Or...
I need to get an
Yeah,
Xbox.
yeah.
But I'm confused though because aren't they dropping like separately the campaign and the
Well, the multiplayer is free
Yes.
on PC and
On console.
yeah, but I'm talking
console.
about like release date wise. Like,
No, they're gonna release together, as far as I understand.
I
Yeah.
think we don't know that for sure yet because there was some like rumors about it potentially like them splitting it, but I don't think it was ever like fully confirmed.
Oh,
The
okay.
thing is that they've been very like odd with the messaging where they're like, we confirmed that some of Halo Infinite will be out on December 8th.
They annoying me so much with that game because it looks so good. At least the
My
like,
friend was streaming
multiplayer
that
looks
shit
fantastic. Yeah,
Dude, the multiplayer looks amazing.
Yeah,
I hate
like-
it because I just want to fucking play.
yes.
He's Joel's our resident Halo expert.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, you've played.
Well, I
Halo
have PlayStation now, so I just don't.
Well, he's played Halo from back in the OG.
There's a
Xbox.
PlayStation game right now called, or I mean, I think it's on Xbox too. It's called Splitgate, and it's like it's just
I heard about it.
It's
Yeah.
Portal and Halo, and they don't even try. I mean, it's literally I don't understand how the game was made because of all the shit, all the trademark, all the patent, whatever, all the shit that Halo owns, and they just. I mean, took it. It's 100% Halo just on PlayStation with portals, and you play Portal. You use your portals exactly like in Portal,
Right.
and the game's actually fun as fuck, and it plays good. But I'm just like, this just. I mean, I have a lot of fun with it, but it's not Halo. So I'm like, I either need to get a PC or get a fucking Xbox just to play Halo, because I need to play that multiplayer. It looks so much fun.
You need to have that needler gun. And
Yeah, exactly. See, there's no Needler. There's just like the BR and like fucking the SMG, the gravity hammer, the fucking
What's that plasma thing?
the plasma rifle.
$300, you get you a Series.
That's
X.
true though.
Yeah.
I might get something like that. Yeah, because that's to me.
That's a
I hardly
backup
play my
console.
PlayStation, but if I had like, and then right now I'm playing Clone Hero because I just got fucking all this shit for Clone Hero, but. So I only use my PlayStation for like one thing, and then I only use my laptop to play Clone Hero. And if I get an Xbox, the only thing I'm going to use it for is Halo. Like that's it. I'm not gonna use it for anything else. And I
That's all you need it for.
I think even the $300 is an investment because it's the last Halo, and I want to fucking play it.
For real.
When we played like
Last
Halo.
How did I not know
Because
that?
it's infinite.
It's well
don't know that for sure.
we don't
they
know that for
say,
sure, but
yeah.
just because the original plan was 6 Halos, and that's what 6 Halos was gonna be.
So it comes across like Halo Infinite will be like this game that just lasts a
For
really
the entire
long time.
generation.
It's the multiverse.
Yeah.
It's gonna last for the whole generation where they're gonna update it like Destiny style.
I don't know if I like
Okay.
that yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I like the idea of like new something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I feel like that's the kind of thing where it will depend on whether the game hits or not. Like that
Right.
will influence everything. Because like
Right.
if the game is a huge hit and it maintains the player base, like it has retention, like months in, there's still a lot of people playing it. Then they're gonna want to support it for as long as they keep the players.
Yeah.
The moment that player base falls off, that's the moment they start thinking about the next.
To
one.
me, it just depends because it's like, how many people are going to care more about the multiplayer as they do the campaign? Because to me, the thing that I liked about Halo the first was the campaign. The multiplayer was so sick. Alongside of it, just having both of those things be good at the same time was awesome. But it's been almost a decade since that. So like Halo 3 or Halo 4 was a good new introduction, and then like Halo 5 was like just the campaign kept getting worse. The multiplayer to me still hit. Like it was fun to me because it's just like the combat really never changed. It just got smoother or clunkier in like 5, but this shit looks really cool in 6. And so like to me, like the best multiplayers I continue to play and people continue to play like Reach and 3 like on Street with the Master Chief Collection because everybody plays that shit now. But it's just like to me it, like the game needs to be good. The campaign needs to redeem itself.
What's your
And the-
confidence level that this is gonna be good?
The
Yeah.
campaign to
Like,
me,
really good.
Campaign.
that's
yeah.
how I base it. To me, I just assume that the multiplayer is gonna be playable and good and like not too repetitive because I played. It's the same. It's gonna be still like this sandbox like shooting game, like regardless, and that's not gonna change. But I'm honestly, I'm 50-50 with if they can land this campaign.
Well,
Because
see, the thing with the campaign, it's
Fuck,
like
man.
they're not releasing a lot with the campaign. Like I noticed with the
It's probably gonna be super
multiplayer-
short.
With the multiplayer, we're seeing so much stuff, and then with the campaign,
Yeah.
it's like you're not getting a little
That's not
nothing.
taste. We're not even
Yeah.
getting it.
And that's
the
what
one time they
makes
did show
me-
the campaign, it was bad. Like we didn't like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And
we
so
don't
that's
like
what
it.
makes
Oh,
me
man.
like, I don't know. But that little stuff in space, whatever, that was pretty cool that they showed at like one of the Xbox showcases. It looked cool, but it was like
Yeah.
so little, and then they just showed more.
I just
campaigns.
I just don't know where this story is where it's gonna go. Like all the shit with Cortana and like I don't know, man. Like the game is so different from how it even began in Halo 4 with this new like this new evil and now the rings all being activated and shit. But like I don't know, it's a totally different story from the first 3, and it just feels kind of like how like the prequels and the old Star Wars movies are. They're just totally different. Like so I'm just like as I'm saying like this new Halo, I don't think it knows where. Well, maybe they know now. Maybe I'm just getting ready to eat my words, which I hope I am. I hope I am because I want it to be good. And campaigns to me in Halo are very important.
It'll be all right.
To me, that's the most important. The most important thing in Halo is to have a good campaign, and that's what they just have been getting slowly worse.
Okay.
All right. So by this time, changing subject, but this time we're gonna have the new Smash character already like been out for a couple of months.
Oh yeah.
Who do we think it's
the
gonna be?
final
It's
Smash
gonna be
character.
Goku.
So do you want to anyone like throw out predictions of who it's gonna be? Because my prediction was Master Chief all along.
It could be. That's a good one. Goku maybe because
Bullshit. That's never happening.
I
want it to
I
happen.
wish it would just
I
happen.
wish.
Just because people have been trolling about it for so many years.
But
and saying,
can it not be Goku? Because don't all the characters got to be original game?
Yeah.
So
They have to be
Goku-
originally created from a game.
Right, and Goku was from the
Anime first, a manga first.
That'd
yeah.
be cheating, right?
Yes.
I mean, I would love Goku.
Yeah,
but
I would love Goku too, but that's not
Shit,
happening.
put Superman. Even though that's still the same
That's the
fucking.
same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all already know how I feel. I just want that Waluigi.
She wants Waluigi.
I
or Sora. Or Sora.
Pikachu, that was a fucking anime and fucking manga and.
Well, Pikachu was on
Pikachu was a game
That was
first.
the game for
Yeah,
me.
Pokemon
Was it
was
really
a
a
game
game
before it was
first?
anything else. Yeah.
Before
damn.
anything else,
That's true.
My prediction is that the last Smash character will be Goomba. from.
That would be Big Goomba. It'll be Big Yoshi.
Big Yoshi.
I like to fuck with Lewis because he always has these like super high expectations for this shit.
And then it's just like Piplup.
It don't be nothing.
It's like the new character.
I had like named like 6 characters that I would be okay with, and I can't remember them all off the top of my head.
Name 1 or 2.
Put
I put like Master Chief, Crash Bandicoot.
Knack.
Who else did I list? I can't remember.
Man, that'd be cool.
The Sora was one of them.
Yes.
I can't. Waluigi.
That'd be lovely.
Waluigi.
Waluigi would be redeemed if they did that.
Man.
You know what? I think
It would give him purpose.
Sora is very possible because of the relationship with Square Enix. Because they already did Cloud and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy.
But the thing about Sora is that it's also part owned by Disney.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Lara
with it.
Croft.
Lara Croft. That would actually be pretty good. That'd be interesting.
She'd have a bunch of little gadgets.
Yeah, but like when I named like all the characters, I said like my 6 dream characters that could be for the final slot. I'd say like just pick one of them and then make the other 5 a third season.
Nathan Drake.
I think we would sooner get like Spyro or Crash.
Dude, Spyro, that would be cool, man. I love Spyro games.
Yeah. What else is happening here? So there's December. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is episode 100. All right. This is episode 100, and we should actually talk about the actual podcast lineage itself.
All right.
Because we never actually like said how this all started.
Yeah, that's what
true.
I'm interested in.
You know what? And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I checked the stats about 3 weeks ago. We hit 2,000 podcast listens.
So grab your popcorn, grab your licorice. It's going to be a long podcast.
It's 2,000. We did 2,000 listens, and that's just podcast services, period. That's not including YouTube videos. And the first 4 months of this podcast, we have no data of how our numbers were.
That's true because we changed.
We changed podcast services for our FeedBurner. We went from FeedBurner to Anchor. And so Anchor gave us the tracking, and FeedBurner didn't give us any analytics. So we might have actually done more during that time.
Assume y'all did some more.
See, we did some more. So
It only took me and Lewis to each listen to every episode 10 times.
Yep. That's the formula.
And that's 1,000 up there. That's 2,000 there. 1,000 listens a piece. Yeah.
That'll work.
No, for reals though, like we don't have a big listenership of any kind, but we do like have some people to listen to it, and people that will listen to some episodes and then drop off and then listen to some others. And one of the coolest things, one of the cool things that has happened with this podcast is that, you know, we just started doing it for fun, and we're doing it. And then at one point I went and I hung out with some friends that I hadn't seen in a while. And my friends were like, oh yeah, like I listened to your podcast. Like I've been listening to you guys, like just to kind of like, you know, catch up with you and want to see what you're up to and what do you think of the games that are coming out and stuff. And it was cool. Like, shout out to my friend also named Daniel in I think he's in North Carolina now. And I saw him in Florida like a year ago, and he was like, yeah, I've listened to, you know, every episode. He actually had some beef to like, talk about something that we talked about or whatever. Like, I don't even remember what it was. But yeah, so that it's cool. Like even if it's not like a lot of people are listening to it, the fact there's some people out there are listening to it and enjoying it and lurking and it's cool. Yeah.
I appreciate it because I don't like the idea of like putting a podcast out there and it's going out into the void and no one's listening. So it's good. It's good to see that every episode.
It's funny that you say that because we also have a friend named Daniel, and
he knows about him.
So many Daniels.
He knows about him.
Yeah, and he told me one time, like, man, I listen to your podcast, and I was like, I don't know why, but he don't seem like someone I respect to listen to. Our podcast, because I don't think he's into movies like that, but he just happened to listen to it, and it was just surprising that, you know, he listened to it. And the thing is, like, I was telling Lewis, if, you know, our podcast is, you know, that both of us do, like, they're long, so even if we have 2 or 3 people that listen to it, that means someone sat and listened for however long, 2 hours out of their day to listen to it. So that actually means a lot, even if it's however many, 10 or however many. It's a lot to me. So
yeah, Dan, if you can do me a favor and just pull out Anchor on your phone and tell us like what's the most popular episode that we've ever done on the podcast. Okay. You don't have to actually say the number of listens, or if you want to brag, then you can. But
thank you so much for preparing me for this, by the way.
No, just right off the
No, I already know what it is. I already know what it is. It was the best video games of the 2000s.
Yep, you're right. So Yeah, interestingly enough, our top 5 most listened to episodes were between episode 31 and episode 39. So
Yeah,
that was
we were at a
during
hot
that
streak.
time?
We were at a hot streak at that time.
What was
must
that?
have- it
What
must
was
have been
going
a-
on during that time?
It must
I
have been
don't
a
even know.
good gaming news.
Oh, you know what? Microsoft bought Bethesda. That was one of the episodes.
that's right.
There was the PS5 showcase where they unveiled the PS5.
Oh yeah. So we got
that
title
news
wave
was
of-
that was a big news.
Those are our top 3. It is when we did our best games of the 2000s, the Microsoft buying Bethesda, and the PS5.
So yeah.
reactions, yeah.
So when
Yeah.
people were searching it, I guess analytics, we sort of rode a tidal wave, I guess. But we had
That when I was going hard on like the Ready Press Play TikTok.
Maybe,
You might have.
Yeah.
It might have
I
been.
was going the hardest when Cyberpunk came out.
Oh, man,
yeah.
bro.
That shit show.
Yeah.
you know what,
That
like
game was so fun to,
during
like,
the
just
Game
watch.
Awards, she went hard on TikTok and she did a whole like news roundup of the Game Awards, like all the announcements.
Oh wow.
And
watched it
that
anyways.
was like the highest viewed TikTok. I don't know how many thousands of views did you get.
I don't know. I can look, but
Yeah.
like I haven't gone
good.
on that account in forever. I'm sorry for dropping off.
Well, what a crazy platform, by the way, TikTok is. Because like I see it all the time where like people would just do a random video and it goes viral and gets like thousands and thousands and thousands of
Yes,
views.
it's crazy.
It seems like it's like a new frontier for video or for platform, I guess.
It is.
For
Yeah,
like
content making,
yeah,
yeah.
because like it's like the new YouTube.
And sometimes it's like intimidating.
And it's so it's so good that YouTube had to make YouTube Shorts to copy it. One of the things I noticed about YouTube
Reels.
is that
Wait, no,
YouTube-
is that Instagram? Reels?
Yeah.
Reels, yeah. You like
I watch YouTube Shorts a lot though.
yeah, exactly. And what they are is just ports of TikToks. And they even have the TikTok logo
Hell yeah.
on the videos in Shorts.
Do you know what they started doing? They actually started doing a thing where they would purposely show your content a lot less if it has the TikTok. If they can detect that there's the watermark, which I found out there's websites that you can download your own TikToks without the watermarks on it.
wow.
So if you do those kind of things, like
Damn.
go look
That
it
is
up.
some hoe shit right there. Like, god.
It was like 5,000.
But no, one of the things I noticed is that like YouTube basically bites every integration. Like so like YouTube makes TikTok and puts it on YouTube with Shorts. YouTube took Snapchat
Yeah, stories.
stories
Like,
and
that's
put it on
everywhere now.
YouTube and like whatever. There was something else. What other things?
Well,
they did?
Twitter does stories now too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, there was like a lot of different things where like you can say basically this is like they've done these posts like those Instagram posts on YouTube feeds now, and so they're basically started just taking a little bit of everything and just saying, oh yeah, I like that, it's good, it's successful, and like I don't know, it just seems very like
It's not just YouTube though. I feel like this market is, whenever something new comes out and it's successful, then all the big players just start copying it and then incorporating
Make
it
it a
into their
feature.
stuff as
That's
well.
in
yeah.
every business, It's
Yeah.
like almost, companies don't want to get left behind, so they try to.
But
take what's-
back in the 2000s, it was insulting to say you biting me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think businesses think like that. They like shit. I just need to make this money. You know what I'm saying? They not. Yeah, they like oh, this is in at the
Copycat.
moment. We need this on our show. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
copycats and like
I
nobody.
mean,
gives a
yeah,
fuck.
you see it all the time. You seen it in comic books.
Oh, in the
when-
world of video games, like Battle Royale, right? Like
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
doing
Oh, yeah.
Battle Royale. And then also, like, Among Us came out, was super popular. Now Fortnite
It
has
makes
an
Among Us.
mode,
No, oh yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
Fortnite makes an
you're
Among
right,
Us mode.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
for
you
sure.
think about it, if you think about it from
So
like a
fucking bad.
business perspective, like you have to like make new content all the time. Like you have to constantly keep up your platform to make it interesting.
Yep.
And if you know that something is doing really well, it's like better to put your money towards the thing that
That's going. Yeah.
that is working well than be like, let's come out with a new feature that might be risky that is not going to be used at all.
Right. Absolutely.
So you could totally understand why businesses are making those kind of decisions, like
Yeah.
game companies and
Absolutely.
social media.
What was that thing that Twitter made? I forgot what it's called, but Twitter basically did their version of stories, I guess. I forgot what it was called though.
Oh, they have
yeah.
another thing they have now is Spaces, but that
Oh,
one is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Spaces.
I
Those
actually
are
think
crazy.
Spaces are kind of cool. Like I don't have a very strong opinion of it yet because I only tried joining a space a few times, but I think it's pretty interesting because it's kind of like a live
Hangout.
impromptu, almost like a podcast in a way.
Yeah,
You can just
it
kinda
is.
join, and I saw the other day some people were talking on my space, and I joined and I asked to talk, and they let me in after a little bit, and I talked to some people for a while, and then I got out of it, and
It's like a Discord call almost.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a social media
Discord's blowing up,
platform
too.
called Clubhouse that I don't know
Clubhouse,
if that's
everybody
where
be
Twitter
talking on
took
there. Yeah.
took it from. But that's basically the setup of the website. Is that you go in and you just listen to people talk.
Like when I first heard a Clubhouse, I was so confused. Like, listening to people talk, I'm like, where's everybody coming from? Like, what is going on here? Like, you just hearing random. And I think when I was listening to it, it was like celebrities talking on this Clubhouse. And I was even more confused. That made it even more confusing because everyone was just talking or whatever. So, yeah, like people stealing everything.
For real.
Yeah. I think first-person shooters are the games that are in the most competition with each other. Because it's
I think
they're always going.
Is Halo? Did Halo get codified?
What do you mean?
COD?
Oh no.
Or is it the other way around?
I think at the very least, I wouldn't even call it codified. They just added sprint, like a game ago, and then now you can. I think you can zoom with triggers like you would, because before you click to zoom.
Oh yeah.
A little bit in a sense that like when I first
arena game,
But when I first started playing, that game, the funnest part about it to me was having to get out of the storm. Like, because it was almost a challenge in itself.
Talking about Fortnite or
for Fortnite?
Okay.
Yeah. And you at least have to remember that there's a storm. Like it's you have to be aware of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine was playing Fortnite the other day, and it's so many ways to get out the storm now. You jump in a car, boom, you get it's something you can just start flying. And it's like
pads or whatever.
Yeah,
diamonds and shit.
Yeah, it's so much thing, and it almost defeats the purpose of the storm now because it's like,
you can get out of it easily.
Yeah, you don't gotta even worry about it. It's like, I just get out with the ghost. It's like a ghost, and you just floats you. And
I think the real purpose of the storm is to make sure that they can control the length of the match, so that they group people together towards the end of the game, right? So it's less about
that's its only purpose now.
Yeah,
it's to bring people in,
and it's more of like
bringing people
together,
right,
for the fight.
Yeah, and that's true, but it was like multi-purpose. It felt like it had multiple purposes to it. Now it's like that's the only purpose. Like, okay, the map got to get smaller, and so everybody come closer. But at first it's like, oh snap, the storm, I gotta go, or or like let me get this, let me loot for this before the storm comes. It's like now it's like, I'll get out whenever.
People like take med kits and then get out of the storm after like pop the med kit like afterwards.
But
can we talk about Fortnite a little bit more? Because I was just thinking that. Something that annoys me about Fortnite is they keep adding features. Like they're constantly adding and adding and adding features.
The game is insane, dude.
And I feel like it's cool to an extent, but I feel like there's too much now. Like
there is too much now.
There's so much. I can't even keep up with it no more.
And at this point, everybody's just so good. Like, I'm just like, once I get to the point where someone's building like a fucking Bob the Builder around me, I'm just like, fuck. Like, I was like, well, I'm gonna die unless I outgun him. And if odds are I'm not, because this dude's fucking 20 feet in the sky.
And the thing is, like, they always added features, but it was like at this pace where it was like whenever it was something new, people were excited. Like, it's a new feature coming.
Yeah.
Now with so many features, I don't even think people
fall behind.
Yeah.
Unless you play it so much that you're like what's going on. This next
play it every
battle
day.
pass is coming up. Now this new feature's in the game, and fucking Thanos is in that bitch now.
I love when Thanos was in there.
That shit was hard.
That was so fun.
They had a Marvel season where they had all the Marvel powers. Like Thor had like the Bifrost, and like
the Star Wars season was sick because I was only playing it to play as a fucking Jedi.
I feel like that's one of the downsides of those kinds of games, that like a game that just comes out and it is what it is, they are able to balance out like the perfect set. It's like the perfect recipe, right? Like they keep working, figure out the exact features they want, what they don't want, and etc. Versus with a game like that, it's almost like you're doing a cookout and you're constantly, let's throw that in there, and you're just constantly messing with it. So it feels like it's never like fully balanced. I don't know.
Because it could get away from what the original purpose of the game or the original.
The game is totally
season
different
one
than
is
what
that.
it once was.
Yeah.
Season 1 skins were ass. You know what I mean?
Oh God,
they were.
If you're still playing with the season 1 skin, get your ass out of here.
Get your broke ass home now.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have that. Many
that's almost like
a badass Batman skin.
That's like almost a question in of itself, because you know how like WoW Classic came out. You know, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, WoW Classic!"
That's what Lambert's
been.
been playing for like a whole year now.
Is there going to be a Fortnite Classic? And if so, which season?
No way.
Which season would be the classic?
There's no reason to do that. They're just gonna. They should make like just custom
Tilted
modes.
Towers, man. People want Tilted Towers to come back.
Or maybe you can just pick. Maybe you can do that now, where you pick a different era map or server, and then you're there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that might happen
cool.
like 10 years from now.
Oh my God, pick the season 5 server.
The Fortnite collection.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Master Chief.
Fortnite.
Fucking dude, I would play as Master Chief in there just so I could be like, hey, I'm playing the new Halo.
I have Master Chief and Fortnite, by the way.
The other thing though is that Fortnite changes a lot quicker than a game like WoW used to.
Right.
The pacing of the seasons and the update. It's not even the seasons that are like really short and come
like 10
around really
weeks,
quickly, but also within the season, like there's new stuff coming out.
I like WoW Classic the best though. It just to me it's all I need in that game. It's just so simple. Right. Like it's just too complex. Not even that World of Warcraft is so complex now. It's just like I don't know. It looks better to me as it did back then.
The most unbelievable thing about Avengers Endgame was that Thor was playing Fortnite and it was like an older season.
Oh yeah.
and the show and the movie takes place in 2023, so it should be looking hella different.
It should be looking like this. With Thanos in that bitch.
He was playing the season where Thanos came.
Smashing shit.
Imagine if like Thor was playing Fortnite and he was playing as the Thor skin or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
imagine him playing as Thanos.
I think at this point, Fortnite is hella like self-aware, and they know that they're Smash Brothers of shooting. Like they do, so that's why they just continue. They're like, well, fuck it, let's ask this company for their permission. I got Ariana Grande skin
for real. Like I got that skin.
Travis Scott, I got like shit like that. It's crazy. You can be anybody.
I got that Mike Lowry from Will Smith from Bad Boys.
They have that?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
dude! I have ridiculous skins on skins. Like I have Batman. I've never actually showed. I haven't even showed Dan like my skin collection. Damn. Whatever.
I've seen some.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, cause like I have all 100 presets and all of my presets are full, and I have more skins that I need more than 100 now.
Did y'all watch Ready Player One? Because I kind of.
Oh yeah.
I'm the only one that's here that hasn't seen it.
Fortnite is like the realization of Ready Player One in a way, like without the virtual reality aspect of it and everything, but the way they had all these different characters together in a world
and different companies
like
and
Ready Player One makes me want to like a virtual reality game on that level.
So basically, never go back to regular reality.
Yeah.
I was just living there.
That's almost like what like the joke about Pokemon MMO. When Pokemon MMO comes out, everyone's gonna go there and never come back.
Yeah.
All right.
Weren't we going to talk about the
Yes.
I feel like we started something.
I don't even know how we got away from it.
We were supposed to talk about like the genesis of how how Dan and I met and how we started the podcast, because here's the thing. I have a podcast, or I don't even know if I say I had or if I say I should have, because
I am the podcast.
Musing with Menchaca, like musing with Menchaca in my head has never been officially canceled, even though there hasn't been an episode in like years. So like I can't say if I could say I have if it's just on hiatus, or just say had and it's dead. But anyways, let's just brush that aside. So I have a podcast, Musing with Menchaca, and I decided to go to San Francisco and promote it, and paid like ridiculous sum of money that I don't even remember how much it was. But so I paid a ridiculous sum of money to go and be on a show called the Game Over Greggy Show. It was before they named it the Kind of Funny Podcast. And so I was there. I got to meet Greg. I met to meet Colin and everything, and it was a good experience. I got to eat wings with Greg and drink Colin Moriarty's Old Fashioned that he brags about how it's the best and everything. And so it was awesome. It was a great experience. I'm not gonna.
I watched that. I was jealous as hell, to be honest. Like, I don't know if I would have like dropped the money, like even if I had it, but just like watching it and be like, oh, that's cool. Like, cause I've been watching those guys too for like probably the same amount of time, and then like
I would have dropped that money.
See, I feel like at the very least, man. I know that you like were on their show, but they should have at least done like a montage episode or something where they're like with our best friend Lewis or something where they highlight you. I mean, come on, man. You paid them to hang out with them.
I was the first one to be on the show as a fan, because they had that tier open on their Patreon. And then the same day or the next day, I get a DM. I didn't know Patreon has DMs. So there's a message center in Patreon, and so I get a notification being like Greg is like personally messaging me. He's like, "Oh my god, dude, you're crazy." Whenever like talking about how like, I did what the fuck? That I did the donation and stuff like that. So we just started exchanging DMs about like when I'm gonna fly out there and all that stuff like that. So I did the thing, and I don't know, like I just on general, like I don't think I did a good job on being on the show because I was just sort of quiet. Like in my head, I feel like I have more to say, but just that particular episode, the topics that were on discussion were not to my strengths. So it made me look like I have no personality.
I remember your topic.
Tell me.
Your topipic was what would you do if you won the lottery?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and honestly, like I had more to say, but like I got cut off, and I don't talk over people. I don't want to be rude, but I was gonna say something, and then Greg thought I finished the thought, and then we just moved on, and I was gonna go, but then like I never got to that part.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so that happened, and so. I had a little 15 seconds of fame where like since I was on like I had people were like blowing up. I was blowing up on Twitter because I took a picture with Greg and I had more notifications than I ever known what to do with. And
What do I do with all these notifications?
Yeah, no, like I'm being serious. Like the first time Greg and I met, we were at a taco place, a taco joint. It was really good food. And so we took a selfie, boom, we took a picture. He tagged me in the tweet. And next thing you know, my phone was just like, like what the hell? Like, and like Greg is like, oh yeah, that's normal. I have my notifications disabled or whatever on silence or whatever. So, and then, that happened. And then, after having been on the show, coming back home and doing music with Menchaca, I'm doing my normal thing, doing a very shitty job, of course, because I don't know how to do I don't know what I'm doing. And so Dan messages me on Twitter and does a DM. Is like, hey, I can help you with your podcast. I was like, oh yeah, really? Okay, what do you want? It's like, yeah, let me do your banner art and let me tell you how to get on iTunes. And I'm like, bet.
How much did you pay Dan?
Nothing. No. It was just like, I think it's interesting to think about the motivation of that because I feel like it was legitimately like, oh, like I want to help this dude out or whatever. But maybe there was also part of me, and this I'm trying to like psychoanalyze myself. There was like part of me that maybe thought you were gonna blow up or something.
I was about to say that too. I was like, because honestly, that's not like I don't think that's a bad reason either. There's nothing bad about that either because it's like. He took an opportunity and I think you saw that and you were like, well, if this guy's so down to like maybe he is really serious about his stuff and I would be genuinely happy to help him.
And the funny thing too is that like it was kind of the right moment in my life for me to like end up doing something like that because I was kind of in this weird like wasn't happy at my job or maybe was about to leave my job or something and I wasn't going to school anymore and I was in a little bit of a rut.
You were graduated or something like that.
Yeah, and I was trying to like kind of figure out what to do next and I was trying to do some content on my own just because I was like interested in it. And then seeing you like be on the podcast, I thought you did a good job and then do your thing. I was like, oh, I want to get involved with this dude. I want to get to know him, like do shit together. I don't know. And I think that's where it started because at the time I was also starting my own podcast, which I didn't really do for too long. Yeah.
RGT, ready. Was it
Real Game
Talk? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't. I wish I didn't say that.
I'll look that up. Put that on the top here somewhere.
Real Game Talk.
I was on it twice or once for sure. Once for sure, but I think maybe twice.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? Lewis was this was in 2015, by the way, to people that don't know. But Lewis was in my podcast, and we were doing this E3 predictions or whatever. And I had this friend who was like, "Dude, this year we're gonna see Elder Scrolls 6." And,
that was 2015.
That was 2015.
God.
6 years later, we still haven't seen it.
The only thing we've seen of Elder Scrolls 6 is a logo. That's it.
What didn't it say like Eldest Scroll or something? No, dude, there was something that we saw yesterday at Israel's house that was like a play on that shit. And it was just a fucking rip of the game, and I was laughing my ass off. That's why I was like, I think it was called Eldest Scroll or something. Some shit like that.
Yeah, shout out to CJ, my friend, who made that prediction. But yeah, then we started doing some stuff together. But it didn't last too long. We're like, Like I helped you out with your podcast, and you were on my podcast, and we did that for like a few months.
Yeah.
And then I feel like after that, we actually didn't talk for years.
Yeah, we fell off. We were like a little bit of pen pals. Like every so often, we would check in and touch base with each other, and like message each other about how we're doing in our lives and stuff like that. And then there was there was one time where there was a close encounter where like after the fact, I didn't realize, but I went to Orlando to go to Disney World or Disney World, and then turns out I didn't know he was living in Orlando, and we could have literally linked up there.
Oh man,
but it was a missed opportunity and stuff like that. And then after that, like we just sort of like fell off a little bit. And then one day, like in 2019, in December 2019, Dan just hits me up and gives me like he messages me, he's like, hey, can I call you? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we ended up having like a video call.
Did we really?
It was a video call because you were walking to your car, and then you set your phone on your steering wheel. And then we talked.
Really?
Yeah.
What year was this?
This is December 2019. Like,
Damn, so like right before COVID.
Right before COVID. Right before COVID. And so we were like, yo, let's launch a podcast. I want to do a podcast. Let's do it every week. And so we like made plans to start in January 2020. We started episode 1, and it was audio only. We didn't go on camera, and it was very chillax. And I think like what's really interesting is like I think that we just sort of hit it off. We started strong, and I think we never had like a really bad episode as far as like our rapport or our on-screen chemistry or anything like that. We just sort of went hard.
You might help me remember this because I have a bad memory, but I think it'd been a few months where I was like, man, I remember there was this time frame where I was like doing podcasts and stuff, and it was fun. And I kind of missed doing that, and I was probably talking about that for a while, and I was just. Yeah. And I was just kind of trying to figure out, like, okay, like, who should I do it with? And then I thought a little bit. I was like, oh, shit, Lewis. Like, he was really good at it. He did his thing. He was consistent. He, cared about it. He knew what he was talking about. He knows games. Like, I'm going to hit him up. And the funny thing, too, is I feel like we had talked that year a few times because at some point, I just messaged you. I was like, hey, dude, how are you doing? And you sent me back, like, this wall of text.
Yeah, I was over at your house, and I was like, is he okay?
Well, I was going through like this really weird I
gotta be honest and tell them everything.
Like how you say like how you doing, and you say I'm doing good, but like no, like I did this thing where it's like I told him I was like, oh, I'm doing. It's like okay, so I just sort of like because we had been like years since we talked, and so I filled him in on like
catching up
on us, like my saga, and on top of that, I had turned 30. I was about to turn 30, and like my 30th birthday was like shit. Like it was the worst. I was going through like this mini midlife crisis,
and so he
needed to
know
like
all
I was just giving him my tragic sob story.
Had a Star Wars.
The scrolling text.
It was so funny from my side though, because I really was just like, oh, let me see what this dude's up to. Like I haven't talked to him in a bit. Like, hey, dude, how you doing?
You're just like, well, that's what makes it funny because it's like it's different if y'all were going back and forth and then. But hey, man, how you doing? Well, this is my life right now.
Here's the part that I don't think either of you remember, which I remember because I was around you. That was like right when we first started dating. Was that that was like really late at night. It was something like 1 a.m. There's that.
Wow.
He's like, I remember you was conflicted.
I'm sorry. Like this is all, like, I don't remember that part, but okay. It's 1:15. I'm all alone and I need you.
Exactly.
The second part was that I remembered that you were like, this is a crazy story. I didn't read your messages, but Danny kind of summed it up for me. He was like, he told me like a part of the story, and he told me he's going to tell me later. And then I hung out with him a couple days later, and he's like, oh, I got the next part of it.
He had to go to bed or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to leave it here for now, but I'll send you part 2 later.
Did you leave the dots at the end?
Yeah, I did. I left him on a cliffhanger too. The worst part was like the story was so long that I never finished the story, and I told him I'll fill you in later, but I never did.
End of chapter.
End
of chapter 1.
That's long if you gotta have a part 2 to a text message.
That don't sound like the Snyder. That's a Snyder cut.
Well, that's a movie script.
But let me just I'll like say like after like months later, like when after the storylines were settled and resolved themselves, I just sort of like a quick little like snippet. It's like, oh yeah, and everything just lived happily ever after the end. Kind of, I just sort of hand waved like the shit away after like, cause like it was old news and it didn't matter.
You just needed to vent, and that was cool. Like, it was just kind of funny because I didn't expect it. But
when Danny told me, he was like, "Oh, I want to do a podcast," and then he was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna do it with this guy named Lewis," and he's like, "You might remember him. He said that long ago." All I knew of you.
Well, what's cool actually about that is kind of because you kind of acted as a producer. I don't know if you know, but like. You know, the way you thought of like, okay, who is someone that's actually good, who has experience, you know, and like you know, it's like Louis checked the list and you linked up, and that's why y'all have a good podcast because you could have chose the wrong person that's missing days and like.
What's really weird is like every decision that we made going into episode 1 about like how it was being structured and the segments and everything, what our plans were, like all of that we were in agreement. Like, it was really weird. It was really kind of freaky because like I felt like we were like a married couple that agreed on everything. Like we were like, what's our expectations? Right. This, and then like, okay, great. Like nobody. There was never a point at any stage of the podcast, even to this day, where we like disagreed on what to do or what's happening. We never did. We've never like we've always saw eye to eye, and I think that's really interesting and like. I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think like how I've never met you face to face, but we just sort of like in sync with each other.
Those are kindred souls.
And we hit the ground running pretty quick though, because like from that first phone call, like, oh, we should do this, to like when we like dropped our first episode, it was like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Oh dang, really? That's fast. Y'all leaped right on it.
Yeah.
Well, Dan did all the legwork too. Like he made like a dossier of like what the show is and everything, like a summary. And it's still on our Google Drive about like, you know, what is that ready like a what is it? Like a mission statement.
Spreadsheet?
Yeah,
it's a
like
mission statement.
It's like
he made a mission statement
like
of the
what
show.
do you feel when you hear ready?
Do you want to read the mission statement? You can if you want to.
Oh, I can try to pull it up.
It's on the drive, and it's like it's so interesting. It's like
the
mission statement has never been made public. Like they're like Dan is so like meticulous. He's got like a spreadsheet, which I haven't updated because I was supposed to take ownership of the spreadsheet, and I stopped updating the spreadsheet where it's like it has
Why did you give up ownership?
It was a
of the
spreadsheet. It was a spreadsheet of like all the topics of the show, every sharing the love, and like who was a guest, and like it has like a little details of like everything, so we can reference it real quickly.
Danny is the king of spreadsheets. He just like he's like
he should have kept it.
Spreadsheet of everything.
Oh yeah.
So like of course he does.
And then we did like weekly meetings too, like on Sundays when we would like actually like call each other. In order to like touch base about what's
and
next,
see what's
you know. And then he made a Trello account for me or something like that, where it could be like a to-do list.
Yeah, it's like a task management.
Task, Like so, I was like, all right, you're gonna take these tasks and stuff like that, and a lot of these tasks never got done. Like we were supposed to
dropped a lot of these things. We just didn't have time.
Yeah,
honestly. Like you know, we got lives. But I found like what like kind of the premise of the show was. So like first it was just kind of description. Every week, Dan and Lewis bring you up to speed with the biggest gaming news of the week, give you a roundup of notable releases, opinions, and commentary on the games they're playing, and a variety of rotating segments.
Isn't that what you say every week?
Sort of. It's been changed a little bit. The Ready Press Play Gaming Podcast posts every Friday and here's the thing, we changed the time, because here it said 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. So we did it earlier, but still Friday. Then I had like top pillars of the show.
There we go.
And the pillars were, and I wrote a paragraph for each one of those: concise, informative, positive, agnostic, and consistent.
This sounds like a business.
I mean, that's good though. Like,
day of work. Like, we want to tell you about the company.
No, bro. This is like Shark Tank. This is your pitch. This is what Mark Cuban is picking for you.
Shark Tank is great, dude.
I'll take it.
Yeah, because like concise was like I don't want it like the original plan was that it was going to be a 1 hour podcast because I didn't want us to be like for it to take too long, but we do
consistently.
anyway.
But like you plus you together, it's like it's
no way.
That's like an hour each person.
We've been hitting 90 minutes lately, but like Dan changed the format, so when the format changed, it was hard to do past 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So
they go for 2 hours every week. They talk a lot too.
yeah.
And then like one of the other two things is that when I put in like positive is because I didn't want to have the kind of podcast where we're going like you know hard.
Like y'all don't want to just make it. Yeah, like hate. Like I know what you mean because you got some podcast or just some like YouTube channels in general where you question like, are they haters? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you should, don't get me wrong, I think you should play both, you know what I mean? Like be non-biased, but like some is just so negative. It's like I can't even watch this shit. Like, you know what I mean? So it's good that you like thought like, oh, you know, you thought of that. Like, all right, let's make sure we, you know, don't go overboard.
Just bash everything.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I'm in real talk though. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I wrote a similar mission statement for Ready Play Movies, and I just copied his work.
Hey, if it's good, it's good. Yeah, if it's good,
Y'all
it's
share
good.
the same network. It's okay.
Yeah, that was actually kind of an interesting thing because like when we were thinking about like how business oriented we were thinking about how ambitious we were going to be, we were talking about, well, we're about to hit the 1 year anniversary of Ready Press Play, so every podcast has a thing where they do like an update, an annual like thing, and so like we just sort of did our thing. It's like, all right, we're gonna do our annual like here's our announcements for the year, and we're gonna retool and reshuffle the podcast with a new format, and we're bringing you Ready Play Movies, and it's like all that kind of stuff. And it was supposed to make I don't know, it just sort of makes me feel like this show's bigger than what it is. Yeah, it's like the fact that our podcast has a spinoff.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Get ready, folks. Yeah. This next spinoff is coming this spring.
I think it's important that you look at anything you do as it is the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. If
Don't sell yourself short.
Right. Exactly. So that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole point is to produce quality. So as long as you keep it high quality, it's not like that. Like you said, it's not like your goal is to blow up. You just do it because you want to do it and it's fun.
Yeah.
But like that's why there's nothing bad. I think some people like to sometimes be like, oh, you're just trying too hard. Oh, this guy's trying too hard. Like
try hard.
The fuck is you just want to make it sound good.
Too hard.
Yeah, like just want to make it sound good.
Yep.
Yeah, like I don't want to talk shit, all right, but I want to talk shit. But like my friend Tipsy, he is so talented. He is so funny. He writes good comedy sketches. I subscribe to his YouTube channel, and then he did it for like 2 months, and then he stopped uploading. You know what I mean? Like and Tipsy, and like, you know, like I don't mind taking criticism or whatever like that. And but like, you know, Tipsy had like things to say about Ready Press Play, like when he was giving me some like constructive criticism, and it's like I hear what you're saying, but like it's hard for me to take him seriously when he doesn't practice what he preaches. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like and that's not to say he gave me bad advice. Good point. He didn't give me any bad advice, and I think he meant positive by it. But it's like, but come on, Tipsy, and like, you know, come on.
Yeah,
you know
right,
I mean?
right, absolutely.
So, but you know, it's a thing. And I remember when Tipsy was like, "Let me borrow all your podcast equipment. Let me take it to San Marcos and let me start a podcast."
Damn, like let me just take all your shit.
He wanted me to give him all my shit so he can do a podcast. Which even I told him no. Which granted, obviously, because I have this stuff. But like, what's kind of interesting is like, even if I told him yes, I don't even think that podcast would exist. Yeah. So to tell you the truth, that's just knowing what I know about Tipsy. Yep. I think it's like it's so easy to just have an idea and think that it's just gonna like work itself out and be easy, but it's a grind. Right. Even what we have accomplished.
And that's why I was saying like all that stuff that's written down. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like that just shows it's a level of focus on trying to make it real quality instead of like, let's just do a podcast and, you know, record. You know what I mean?
I feel like the way I looked at it is like I wanna make the podcast that I would like to listen to. That was it. Like I want to make the one that I would like to make and that I would like to listen to. Sometimes people make things for an audience, and sometimes that's what is the most successful. But that's not really what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to do like what I like. I don't know, the ideal format for me, you know, that's what I want to do. Yeah. And, you know, it's funny, we were just talking about, like, you being bigger, like, treating it bigger than what it is. It's like, yeah, that's a very, like, Lewis thing. I feel like, do you think you're the most ambitious with things like this, or?
No, I think you're the ambitious one for both of us, to tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah. I just sort of like to, I don't know, I'm like a hype guy.
Because Lewis was the one that was like, oh, we got to meet in person for the 100th episode. Or whatever. Like, I would have never thought of that. And and he was the one that like pushed for it. It was basically like, oh, you're coming to me or I'm going to you.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna fly.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want you here.
You would do it. It was gonna happen.
It was gonna happen. I'm glad it's here because obviously there's more like I have more equipment, you know, and all this other stuff. And
oh no, in my apartment, it was a bit much harder to pull off, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, and we did it, and it's really cool. Like the way that it all come together, like us recording this, but also meeting you for the first time, meeting these folks that I've seen on your videos and stuff for a while. Yeah. Like, being able to get to see Texas for the first time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'd never been to Texas before, so.
Actually, yeah, let's talk about that because I know this is a game podcast, but we're like sort of like
we're
dropping the
bridging the
pretense.
gaps
Let's
here,
just drop the pretense that this is a gaming podcast. This specific episode.
This is a special episode.
Yeah, we all over the place.
Yeah, we are all over the place. But like, what do you think of Texas? Like, what did you like about it? Like, how am I as a tour guide? You know, what do you think of the
You're a
food?
great
And
tour guide.
Yeah.
I like how you had to throw that in there. How am I as a tour guide?
shut the hell up, okay? I like to talk a bit about. I like to elevate myself.
Yeah, I was even telling Leah that, you know, I've moved around a lot in my life, so I don't think I could do to any place where I lived what you did to this place when you were like driving us around, where it felt like when you go somewhere and you pay to get like a bus tour and there's somebody like telling you like, oh, over here's the museum, whatever, and over there it's like, you know, everything is showing you.
Here, Lewis is just like, I'm just gonna drive you over here.
And Lewis basically did that for us for free. Like we basically had a tour guy, like he drove us everywhere, showed us everything.
It was good.
Yeah, and you actually did a pretty good job at it.
We couldn't do that for LA. Both of us were like,
Who the fuck? You're like, who the hell wants to drive around LA all day? You're gonna be fucking sitting in traffic all goddamn day.
So yeah, like we could tell that you know a lot about, you know, this area, and I know you've grown up here your whole life. And then we also got to see, like, he also gave us like the Lewis like history tour. Like,
Did you take him around your old house? Did you go to Lilac?
Yeah, I did everything. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I did. I was like, oh yeah.
Damn.
And it was kind of funny. It's actually I remember. I was like, I'm sorry, Joe. I'm gonna put you on blast, but at the house that I showed you, when I was like, here's my middle school and here's my house. At that same house, there was one time when Joe was like a little kid, like real little kid, and he came to my house. He was scared of dogs, and then my dog, he's like a little, you know,
Fifi.
He's a little dog, a little black and white dog. He's not that much bigger than a Chihuahua, but he sensed the fear in Joel, and then Joel started crying and he started running away, and then he started chasing after him down the block.
I was so scared.
Okay, so wait, what was the point of telling this story?
I just thought it was funny.
Like it has nothing to do with nothing.
I just remembered because like we took him. I took him to my old house and I showed him around my middle school. I was like, oh, my elementary school is that way. My high school and all that. That stuff.
I also had moments where I was afraid of dogs and stuff as a kid, and I remember this one time where I was with my family in the house, and the front door was open, and there was somebody walking their dogs without a leash outside or something, and just out of nowhere, these like two big, tall dogs come into the house, and then the first thing, like they just walk through the front door. First thing I do is I go on top of the dinner table, like just like crawl on top of the dinner table. And I wasn't like a little kid. I was like, I don't know, like 14 or something. And my dad made fun of me for so long. That was my reaction. But I don't know. I was like, I didn't know if the dogs were going to be aggressive or not. That was just my like, I don't know, my fight or flight. That was the response in that moment. It was like, go on top of the table. They can't reach there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get on a little side thing about dogs, but just real, as you said that, it's such a big pet peeve when people walk their dogs without the leash. Like, it just bothers me so much because it's like, well, if you got a good dog that literally just walks by you and just walks next to you and don't mess with nobody, all right, fine. But if you have the dogs that just leap on everyone and it's like everyone might not like dogs or might be allergic or you just, it's fine. He just wants to lick you.
That's why I like my dog. She don't do that shit.
Yeah, but
I walk her without a leash at the park and she just stays by me because I've only had her for like 4 months.
But yeah, my bad. I didn't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
How long have y'all been? How long? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like I would have died by dogs. Like 2 dogs would have ran into the house, and I'd be like, puppies. That's how I'd die.
Hell yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, how long have y'all been in town?
Since
like 2 days.
Saturday
night.
And
like how long?
today's Monday.
Yeah, we're only staying for a few days because, you know, I got a job. She got
You know,
I didn't have that much vacation time to use, and I want to save some for like end of the year as well.
Like
So we're
Christmas time.
yeah, let's go. Let's spend a few days, and we'll do the podcast. We'll hang out. You know, show us some great restaurants, which he did. We have really good barbecues.
I was like, I told him, I was like, all right, now think of a bar. Now think of a mall. And then like I took him to Texas Live, and they thought it was even bigger than they imagined. Like I was like,
everything's bigger in Texas, I guess.
Yeah, like for real.
Man, there's so much. There's like, I've never been in like the situation where I have like friends that come out of town, and like so now I'm like, man, I want to see if my friends from like all over the country. I'm gonna see if they want to come to town one day because being a tour guide sounds kind of fun. Honestly, I'm like,
Yeah, I showed him, and it's kind of funny. I tried to tell him about the roads and be like, all right, here's I-35, here's I-30, here's I-20. These are the 3 main highways that you need to know about. And so I took him through the highways, and then we're going back. And I'm like, okay, now what highway are we on, class? And they're like, I don't know. Like,
you're like, I don't even know if I'm going north, south, east, or west.
no, right? Did you not see me change highways? Like, no. Like, and we were going through an overpass, by the way. We went through this big ass overpass, and they didn't even pay attention or whatever.
Dude, even when I'm driving, I don't pay that much attention. When I'm a passenger, like, you can be damn sure I'm spacing out.
I was too busy thinking, oh my god, there's that restaurant. They have that here. Oh my god, they have this restaurant here.
They were like, Cheddars. Oh my god, Cheddars and stuff like that and
We
stuff.
don't have that in California, but it was in Florida, and we miss it.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many restaurants that are like that are, while we were driving around, I was like, oh my god, this got everything I like about California and everything I like about Florida meshed together.
Have y'all been to Buc-ee's yet?
No, it's like
It's
Buc-ee's
only.
is
I
like
mean, it's not that far from here.
It's
in
not that
Alliance.
far, but Buc-ee's is a gas station, but like a grocery store gas
It
station.
has like 150 gas pumps or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like it's huge, and they sell like barbecue. They sell like hot food, fudge,
Yeah.
and like
Banana pudding.
they have the cleanest restrooms.
Like
restrooms.
roasted,
like,
yeah, cleanest restrooms,
Yeah.
cleanest restrooms ever. Roasted acorns and stuff
Is
like
that the Texas equivalent of Wawa in a way?
It's even bigger than Wawa.
Yeah, Wawa's not even that big, but like people in the East Coast just love Wawa. Like,
QT is like the equivalent to Wawa, which is like just a it's just a nicer, bigger gas station with like food and snacks, specializing in that stuff. My friend is actually, her parents are like the CEOs of Wawa. She's hella fucking balling. But that's what I was like. Anytime I hear Wawa, I'm like, I've never been there, but I've always heard about it, and my friends always told me about it. I'm like, that's just like QT.
Seriously overrated, honestly.
Yeah.
it's just like a gas station, but they have nice like sandwiches and like,
They're like the equivalent of like fast food sandwiches.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like how people overhype like In-N-Out and probably Whataburger.
Yeah,
all
for
this.
sure.
It's like just because it's like right there, and then you like to go there, and you have all this nostalgia for going there, and overhypes it for you.
One thing is for certain though, no matter where you go, nobody goes to Arby's. At all.
you know what? We actually like Arby's.
Nobody goes to Arby's.
Out if
Here.
you want, but
No, I don't. I'm just nobody in
Nobody
Texas
even
goes
hates it.
there.
Everyone
Like
hates
each Arby's here, you're lucky if
disgusting.
it's like even open.
I went
crazy.
to I like the best equivalent I can think of Arby's as I consider is like White Castle. It's terrible.
Dude, I've been to White Castle one time. That shit was good as fuck.
No,
yeah,
dude.
there's a lot of people that make fun of Arby's.
What's wrong with you?
Arby's.
What's wrong with you?
We get
Curly fries though, those are fire.
The curly fries are good.
Those are just too good.
I've never waited in a line at Arby's. If I were to ever go to that place, I've never waited in a line. It's like
I used to.
It's just one thing about Texans; they just don't like Arby's. For some reason.
I don't know.
Around
Arby's.
the corner for one, so I would go with my mom. We would drive up. We'd get the sliders of like the roast beef.
Roast
sandwiches.
beef,
It was
yeah.
like so good, and they get mozzarella sticks, and they were like
Mozzarella
deep
sticks and
fried, and it
fries,
was
yeah.
Like, oh, so good.
I used to work.
That's all I would.
We
I
got
used-
the meats.
yeah, we did. Well, yeah. Well, I used to work at a place where there was an Arby's across the street, and I would go drive past Arby's to go somewhere else for my lunch break. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, Arby's is like I don't know. It just makes me sick to my stomach.
What did you have? Yeah. What did y'all have at Whataburger when y'all
Oh
went?
yeah, Oh my
I
god.
got a chicken sandwich with barbecue sauce on it.
The honey chicken street. Yeah, yeah.
But
That thing
the
was so
honey chicken
good.
shit sandwich.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
I got
like that
the
one.
sweet bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, how was that?
That was pretty good.
On the
I
all-time
liked it quite a
classic?
lot. Yeah.
Danny said he wished that he had my sandwich though when we got back to the hotel yesterday.
I really
They-
liked my cheeseburger, but her sandwich seemed like it was more like unique. So I was just
Yeah.
thinking later, maybe I should have had her sandwich.
They have one like
It's
that
funny,
that's
though.
Buffalo Ranch too.
it's funny because them are literally the only two sandwiches I mostly get at Whataburger. And I actually like argue with myself.
Which one am I gonna get?
Yeah, like I gotta get the sweet spicy.
Dude,
burger.
I-
only get the chicken strip
I only get the little mini burgers they have, which are like the Whataburger Juniors, but I get like a 3 patty because the smaller patties that they use to me just taste better. And apparently they're the only ones that are cooked fresh. Like they're the only
Because
ones
they
that,
have to be. Right?
Yeah, because they're like nobody orders them, and they're for like unless you're getting a kids meal, that's when you'll get those little patties. But they're the only ones they apparently cook fresh. And I've had a regular one and the smaller ones, and it's true. I'm like, damn, these taste like way better. And so now I just get little small ass burgers. Well, not even small. They're like the size of In-N-Out burgers. They're just like
Since you've had actually California In-N-Out Burger, which is I guess better than Texas In-N-Out, apparently. Which one do you prefer?
Between what?
In-N-Out and Whataburger? Yeah.
You're putting me on the spot.
That's a huge question.
Really,
I don't know.
That's easy. That's an
not
easy
a fair
layup for me.
question, though.
It's a easy layup for me.
So like I'm leaning towards saying In-N-Out still, but I think that's because like I've had In-N-Out like many times, and I only had.
It's
I
not
had
a
that
fair
one
question.
time.
Like you got one
burger,
burger, and it's like
and it's like not even just a basic cheeseburger, which I think is the number one thing you should base your restaurant off.
The basic one
Is just the Whataburger against the double. I think that's
Yeah, because like I've gotten In-N-Out like a lot of times, so I'm pretty like used to the taste, and I like it a lot. I just like I feel like if I went somewhere else, I'd be happy to just get Five Guys, or if it was here like Whataburger.
Oh yeah,
I'm not, like,
fuck yeah, Five Guys.
Yeah, I think I just don't overrate burgers. Like I think I put a lot of burgers in the same like tier, so it's like I could go for Whataburger or In-N-Out or Five Guys or whatever. It's like,
At the end of the day, it's just the same fucking ingredients.
Yeah, I know,
it's just somebody does it different.
There's like a whole there's a YouTube channel called Food Theory, and Food Theory did a theory about like what's the best arrangement of a burger. So basically, it's like how like meat, cheese, like lettuce, tomatoes, like the stack order. And so apparently, like if you change the stack order, you can have the exact same ingredients, but the stack order makes the taste better.
Did you know there was a scientific research to determine the best way to eat a burger? Like to hold it so that the ingredients don't fall off. It's like you put like your three middle fingers behind it, and then you're supposed to put those two on like in front of it. It's like, it's supposedly to be scientifically the best way to eat a burger.
that's interesting.
But also, just throwing this out there, like in the Food Theory, he tested out. I know it doesn't seem it seems like a claw grip.
It kind of hurts my fingers.
It's kind of like holding an N64 controller or something.
Throwing up the game time.
Like what's no, but like apparently like one of the food theories was like that they tested was the stack order that was given by SpongeBob SquarePants when he was making the Krabby Patty, and he listed out
A layer of undersea.
how he makes it.
Those Krabby Patties always look good. I always wanted one. Like,
So apparently, like his stack order was one of the best ones. Apparently, is like if you do it the way SpongeBob said it in his his little like spiel.
I grew up watching SpongeBob in Portuguese because I guess they might not know this, but I'm from Brazil. I grew up in Brazil.
Oh,
and SpongeBob in Portuguese, the Krabby Patties, they translated them to the equivalent of like crab burgers. So I always interpreted that the meat in the burgers was crabs. I thought Mr. Krabs was a cannibal. Like I thought Mr. Krabs was a cannibal.
Damn, that's actually pretty wrong.
That's some creepy pasta, dude. Someone needs to write a fucking creepy pasta. Some crazy cannibal.
What is this podcast? What are we talking about?
I know, right?
it's the food podcast, everyone.
The food, the
Movie,
tourist,
yeah,
this is like
I'm trying
diners,
to-
drive-ins, and dives.
I'm backdoor trying to convince them to move to Texas. You know what I mean? So I'm doing a pretty good job of it from what I understood. They had some hard eights and some barbecue, so they were like,
It was so good.
Ooh.
That barbecue was so good.
I mean, I know a ton of spots here in Fort Worth that y'all should definitely check out if y'all are still going to be in town.
no, they fly out tomorrow, man.
Yeah. It's
I'm gonna take them.
Whatever he showed us, that's what.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them to Brahms tonight, and then I'm gonna take them to a brunch place called Yoke tomorrow, and that's it.
Oh, Yoke is good.
Yeah,
We gotta
Brahms-
get a reservation for that one though.
I don't think
Yeah,
we need it.
you should.
Even on
Just in
a
case.
Tuesday morning.
Yes, people in downtown work and then go to. They have to eat and then they gotta go to work.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
We tried to go there and it had a 2-hour wait.
Yeah, it can get pretty
on a
crazy.
Sunday. It was on Sunday morning and stuff like that.
It's good though. They have good mimosas.
But we could end up in Texas at some point because I don't think
Yeah.
we don't plan on staying in California forever. It's just
So
kinda
y'all haven't lived in California for a long time?
No, like 3 years.
Yeah,
About to hit
so-
4 years.
I'm from Brazil. Then I moved to Florida. I'm gonna simplify it because I've actually moved a lot. But I moved to Florida, met her in Florida, and then we moved together to California in 2018 and got married there.
Born out in California, raised in Florida from when I was 7, and then I moved out with him to California.
So do you still have family in California?
Yeah, I have a bunch of family in California, but it's like all extended family, and they're not very close. Like,
But she also has family in Florida. She has family in Ohio.
yeah.
And they had and their wedding, they had to basically like not invite the extended family because it's not fair. Some people can't travel, so or something like that. Or COVID happened to
Yeah, we had a small wedding because
We
it was
had a
like in the
COVID
middle.
wedding.
Yeah.
We had like 15 people there max.
Yeah.
Or something like that, like including us.
Also because we don't have a lot of people in our like closed circles, like or even like almost low-key making fun of Lewis, but not really making fun of the fact that his phone is always ringing. It's always like, oh yeah, this person, that person, whatever. Like he's close to like everybody in his family.
Like the only people that called, like I got 3 calls this morning. They were all spam.
Number one, my friends don't call; they text.
Yeah,
like that's one thing. And then the other thing is like our family. Like I have so much of my extended families in Brazil. I have some family here, but a lot of my family's in Brazil. I have friends in Brazil. I have friends all over the place because I went to college in Florida and California and stuff. But yeah. So I've been kind of a little all over.
Yeah. I basically overvalued myself because I was getting so much phone calls and be like, I'm telling everyone to go fuck off because I'm hanging out with them, and so that way I can.
You're like, ooh, this is so special.
Yeah, we were at the botanical gardens actually, and we were taking some prom photos and stuff like that. So
I was like behind Lewis, like hugging.
That's cool.
We did that. I'll put something up on screen like over here or something like that. So
you like to create work for yourself, man.
I know, and in the editing process. Luckily, I got like 3 months to edit this goddamn thing, so I'm good. So, but yeah, I guess you know what.
How long have we been recording for? Do you know?
An hour.
Okay.
An hour. So yeah, we could do like another 30 more minutes because like it's about to be 5 o'clock pretty soon. But let me look at your list of like topics here. Okay. Let's see here. Let's say Tony and Joel. Okay, you see, okay, Troy and Joel are here for the first time. That I can see why that confused Troy here. So we should ask them about their favorite games, consoles, or gaming memories. So Dan and I have done a podcast about that called a DLC episode, like our. Like
for all your Patreon followers.
Exactly. So Dan and I have answered this question before, so let's actually give it up to Joel and Troy and talk about what you guys, what y'all's history with gaming and how do y'all,
history with gaming?
Yeah,
like what was your first console?
First console.
Mine was a Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Yeah, that was my first console.
That's the first console I ever played, but it wasn't my first console.
Which one was yours first?
My first console was the Xbox.
Hey.
And at the original, yeah.
With the Duke, actually.
We had a Duke, a big ass Duke, and a fucking Mad Catz big orange controller with the rubber grips on the side that we got from GameStop.
He had like I house sat his house once when he went to Mexico with his family, and I like low key like took his Xbox and was playing it on I was playing like Lord of the Rings and like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, man, Lord of the Rings is such a good game.
On Xbox.
But that was my first console. I gotta say, but at the same time that I had that, we had a PS2 that was like traded to my mom, and so we just had a PS2 in the house, and Did
you just use it as like a DVD player? Or
something? I think that's what my mom was using it for. We had a couple games for it that we would rent. We would just rent games for it because we wouldn't buy them. Yeah. We would only if we got a game, it would be for the Xbox. And then one day while we were enjoying the PS2, I think, more because we pretty much only played Halo on the Xbox at the time, and like Time Splitters and shit. And then my mom she didn't sell. She traded the fucking PlayStation for a portable portable DVD player. And I was like, what the fuck? I got home and I was like, where's the PlayStation? Where the fuck's the play? So early on, my video game experience was traumatizing.
But you still have
I thought I had the life. I was like, PS2 and Xbox? I'm like, my God. Like, I couldn't even believe it.
People had to choose between that.
I know. And at the same time, my mom was a teacher, so we also had... Back then, they would issue PlayStation 1s to kids with this learning game, and they were the smaller PS1s, and we had like 3 of them. So then, and with that, we would fucking play PS1. So like, we had a lot of video games growing up, and we had our game. My uncle would give me the fucking Sega
Game Gear.
And then like I would play his Super Nintendo. So we had a Super Nintendo in the house. Like a lot of the consoles I had were just my uncle's that they were just passed down. Yeah. I remember I went to my grandma's and opened the closet in one of her hallways, and I was like, dude, all this old shit's in there. And I got the Duck Hunt gun and
nice.
The Super Scope.
They didn't have the Power Glove, right? Mm-mm. They never had the Power Glove. But they had like, don't you have that Duck Hunt gun?
Everything.
I have a Duck Hunt gun and I have a Super Scope.
You don't have that one, but you don't have that exact one, right? You never. Okay.
No.
I don't know why I thought you had it, but I don't know, man. My first early memories of gaming were definitely playing like Pokemon and playing Halo on my Xbox, playing Need for Speed on PlayStation. Like I grew up with a lot of like liking a lot of like racing games and shooting games.
Your mom and dad were kind of ballers, low key. Because let me tell you this: one of my Christmas memories I remember when I was going to Christmas at y'all's house.
I wouldn't say ballers.
There was I had my PSP for like a year, and like I was showing you guys,
that was
like,
awesome.
I was showing them Crackle, and I was showing them like back in then Crackle was good, and you could actually like download like cool ass clips like Family Guy clips, and we were watching Family Guy on my PSP one time.
Yeah,
wow. And then and so. I guess like they wanted a PSP, and they told him that like they wanted a PSP for Christmas, and so Joel's older brother Saul, like they were like much younger. They got they gave Saul the PSP first. He opened it and like he got the pop box. Yeah. He was crying. He was like throwing a bitch fit.
Where's my PSP?
Like, he got a PSP, like that kind of stuff, and then Saul was trying to calm him down. He's like, okay, it's okay, we'll share it, man, we'll share it. And he's like, no, fuck that,
And I opened my goddamn gift, and there's a PSP, and I was like,
and then like later on, like in that night, he finally got to open it, and it was his PSP. So they got 2 PSPs for Christmas that year. But Joel's reaction was golden.
Yeah,
like,
bro. And the thing is, like, I think at that point, we had the Xbox for so long. The 360 was maybe just coming out.
Yeah.
And I knew for sure we weren't gonna get a 360. I just knew we are not gonna get a whole console for my parents because we weren't that baller, Louis. But
2 PSPs, that's like $400.
That was a lot of money, but like that's like the only. I didn't like get anything. I was like, I got like a birthday, but I didn't like get a big present for my. I was just like, I just want this. Like, Mom, please, I just want this. Like, and then same thing with like my Game Boy. I never even asked for the Game Boy. I kind of just mentioned it to my grandma. And then one day I got my fucking Game Boy Advance SP. I was like, when Pokemon Emerald came out, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was just like, is this for me? She's like, yeah, it's for you. I was like, what the fuck? And so then all I did was just continue to play. Like, I was just always surrounded by games, man. And especially the PSP, like, that's one of my favorite consoles. Shit, I'll still play my PSP if I get a new battery. I still have it.
My PSP and the analog stick broke.
Yeah, but those are things that you could just, put back on. You could just buy a replacement. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. That was I think my biggest gaming, like the thing that got me really like into modern gaming was easily the 360. Though once I got one, I was just like addicted, bro.
He showed me like Xbox Live arcade games that I never heard about. Like there was this one game called The Impossible Game, and I got addicted to it. And then I went and found it on the phone. It came out on iOS, and it hit so hard.
Dude, the fucking square that just jumps over stuff.
I feel like I played that game on PC. Wasn't that on PC?
Yeah, it was on like everything.
Yeah.
It's so good. It was just something about it was like very like I don't know, hypnotizing or hypnotic. Yeah. So yeah, I was just like it triggered like an OCD scratch where I was like, I need to do it. I needed to figure it out. And the only thing that really quelled my like satisfaction because I could never do it is like I watched somebody on YouTube upload their perfect run just so that way I can feel better about myself.
Yeah, like I played a lot of pretty much every platformer's console, and I don't know. Like I had my cousin Danny had the N64, so that's where I first played Smash 64 and Legend of Zelda and Mario 64. But I never like owned an N64 growing up. I was just always at my cousin's house, and we were always playing that game. So I like was able to beat the games at his house, and I didn't even like. And those memories were so like long ago. I was like 7 years old that like when I was in high school, my friend got a 64 or maybe it was just his 64. I don't know. And all we did was just like I went back and replayed the games, and then I even replayed Ocarina of Time like on the 64, and then I replayed on the 3DS because he let me borrow it, and I was like, fuck yeah, I can fucking play this game again because that's one of my most replayable games like of all time that I could just boot up and play from the beginning. But I don't know, man. I don't know what I grew up liking the most. I just know like there was a time where it was just like games that before online gaming, before I really played any sort of online gaming. Right, but once I played online gaming, I was just like hooked. I mean, that was like I played the campaigns in like Halo 3, and probably one of the last campaigns I really remember playing and like the most is like up until Modern Warfare 2 and like Halo 3, COD 4, Black Ops 1 and 2, shit like that. And that was just. But then the thing is, I would beat the campaign and never touch it again. Other than Halo, like I would always replay Halo to try to beat it on a different level. But on Call of Duty, that was pointless because it's too hard on the fucking like the hardest level of Call of Duty. But Modern Warfare 2, Halo 3, Xbox 360, that 2007 to 2011, like those 4 years, 2012 maybe even, like those years, that's when like to me I was like at my highest level of wanting to play online games and play with my friends because everybody had a 360, man. fucking modded lobbies and shit on COD 4.
I think that's like something to say about like the fact that like when you're a child and you don't have control, you don't have your own money. When you don't have your own control of what you get, you almost have like you appreciate it more because you play the hell out of like what you're being given.
Yeah, and whatever you're kind of given is what determines a lot of times what if you become a PlayStation fan.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I never thought I would even get a PS4 first of all, and I got one, and I'm like, oh, actually, this is a good ass console. Like the Pro it's a solid console.
What about you, Troy?
It's funny how y'all brought that up about you kind of have to play what your parents give you. Cause when I had a Nintendo 64, and the two games that my mama bought for it was Pokemon Snap and a game called Glover. And
Glover.
At the time, I didn't want to play either one of those. I was like, oh well, but look like I'm not gonna play my Nintendo 64. And my cousin had Zelda. Or whatever, and I go over his house and we played Zelda and beat the game. It was a masterpiece, and the whole time, I enjoyed Zelda so much that I never touched Glover or Pokemon Snap. And then when I was bored and I finally played the games, and I loved Pokemon Snap. I loved it. I was like, damn, I've been wasting time. I could have been playing this.
I've been wasting time playing Ocarina of Time when I could Pokemon Snap.
Yeah. And I was so addicted to it. And then I played Glover. I loved that game as well. I was playing that game all the time. So it was funny how you got to, I learned actually to be more grateful. I guess. You know what I mean? So yeah, those were my earliest my earliest memories. I remember playing those games. But as I got older, I got an Xbox 360, and I remember the one game I got with that was a game called Condemned. It was a horror game. And I remember I was scared. I was like, dang it, I wish I had something else because I was scared to play. It was scary. I tried playing it and I was like, I can't play it. So I had the 360 and couldn't really play any. I ain't had nothing to play. And then I finally played Condemned, and I loved that game as well. But it was hard to get through. But yeah, I think those are my two, in terms of earliest memories I had with a system. And I mean, since then I had the One and the Xbox Series X. Now I had a PlayStation 4, the 4, and but yeah, those are them memories I think back on and think about them classic days.
What franchise did you like the most or play the most as a kid? Because I know you like the DBZ games.
Well, yeah, DBZ. I played probably every Dragon Ball.
Which one better, Budokai or Fighters?
Fighters.
I mean, damn.
Budokai, they're two different games, but Budokai is a classic, but Fighters is a perfect. It's so it's a great fighting game.
Yeah, it's a run it back type game.
Yeah. It's
the game's over.
Yeah, it's very hard to make games like that where the quality of your skills can really determine how good, the quality of your skills can make you a pro, where you could be in the pros, and there's some games that's just button mashy, whoever's the best at.
I think Budokai's button mashy.
I would
but Budokai, even though I love it, it's more button mashy. So it's whoever can just hit buttons quicker, will win. So with Fighters, it was more skill. But I think Fighters.
I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there, Troy can whoop my ass like a bitch, and in Fighters. I'm not a fighting game guy, but whatever. But
it's
Troy got my number on Fighters.
Him and Izzy are the best Fighters players that we know.
Izzy's even better than me. But and that feels good because I'm sure there's not a other single game I'm better than Louis. So I'm taking that.
He takes that one to the bank.
I'll take that to the bank.
Cash that check.
You know what you're better at? Chase.
Oh, that Chase, man.
Joel was trying to come from my spot for the best person on the pad.
Oh yeah.
But I always retained that title.
Yeah. So.
But Nintendoland was in that rotation.
That's a classic game, man. That's a game that definitely can.
I feel like Nintendoland deserved more.
Yes,
more love.
It was fire, bro. That game was so good.
I don't even know how you do competitive Nintendoland because I feel like that should have existed.
The candy game,
the Animal Crossing game, man.
Yeah,
that one's.
I loved. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, like Saul apparently like tried to look up competitive Nintendoland, see if that's a thing, because he wanted to like be like an esports team where he's like the dream team.
Can you imagine like a Nintendoland esports team? I don't know why that just sounds ridiculous.
That's like a Wii Sports pro team.
It's a game called Chase, and it's like the funnest game ever. But it's like the person on the pad is playing the person that gotta escape.
Run away.
He gotta escape from us. And me, his brother,
Tony and
Tipsy. Yeah, like four of us, we're like the best
undefeated.
at it. Like we every time we play in terms of strategies and catching the person, we call ourselves the dream team.
They're so good, but the thing is, I'm the only one that could challenge them because.
Do you want to remind listeners the story about that he told on one of the first episodes?
I one of the very first episodes on the audio show. Yeah, I told him about how. Anyways, but I'll get to that actually in a second. But I just wanted to say I helped create the dream team. I just want to say I was like here's I'm real talk. When I was starting the game and I knew exactly what the strats were. I was playing the game and I was at first I was beating their ass like constantly. But Tipsy, I think I remember it was specifically Tipsy. Tipsy kept saying, "Let's run it back, let's run it back, let's run it back." And so they got better and evolved, and they made strategies to counter me. And then I had to make strategies to counter them, and then they evolved and then to the point where they have the last laugh because I can't.
Y'all be sounding like SEAL Team 6 in that bitch. Like,
go left,
contact above third floor, passing, crossing. I'm like,
that's kind of funny because like what happened was like I was in a rut, and then my friend David came over and he watched me play, and he noticed something like a little what do you call it, like a gap in their strategy. He whispered it to me, pointed it out to me, and then I adapted. I used that to my advantage, and I won like 1 or 2 games in a row. But Tipsy was like, "Let's run it back," and so they got good to like where that doesn't work anymore. So that gap, but like that's the thing that's what really pisses me off is like they're so good at adapting that I have to take them to a stage where I have an advantage. Where it's like a slide, and even then, like it's not a guaranteed win. It's like
Louis would get so mad at us, he kicked us out the house. He said,
"That's the story."
You better lose
to that,
dude. I didn't talk to Louis for a whole year because I was so mad at him. Like straight up, yeah. I was like, man, fuck you. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not gonna talk to you for a year.
He said, y'all better throw the game or y'all all getting out.
I was like, you're a bitch.
Y'all gotta lose on purpose. But
what's kind of funny is like all three of them, Tipsy, Saul, and Tony took it seriously, but Troy didn't. And so here I am, like, all right, let me win this game real quick. And then Troy's like, what the hell, like.
And everyone on the team was telling me, Troy, don't get him, let him lose, like let him win. And I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm so competitive.
He tackled me so hard, and I'm like, my character like tumbled and shit, and I'm like, fuck you guys, and just like everyone get the fuck out and everything.
It was so fun.
I think I've only kicked you guys out like a total of 3 times, definitely 2 for sure. 1 happened in Smash, 1 happened in Nintendoland.
In the middle of the night too.
Yeah, but you know what? Like
everybody's just like, "What? We just got here."
No, I think both times I caught.
That was all.
It was late. Both times it was late. Like the most I cost us was an hour.
Not even.
Yeah, like we would go.
That's how we knew we was true victors. Like if Louis don't kick us out, we didn't do something right. Like, man, he didn't kick us out, so we didn't win enough in a row. You know.
But no, like it was. I don't know. It was like it's really hard because the thing is that what really bothered me is that I don't mind losing. Like I can take it on the chin kind of thing. But the thing is, I'm the only one who can challenge them. So anyone who's ever on the pad, whether it be Daniel or Joel or whatever, or Hakeem, they would lose very fast. And I mean, like, they were very efficient. They would corner them, and they would be done in, like, 10 seconds, 30 seconds.
Wasn't even
I would have some games where I would either win once in a blue moon or get, like, within 10 seconds. And I'm
yes, that's true.
It got to the point where it wasn't fun unless Louis was on the pad or Joel. Like, we would say, nah, don't get on, because we'd win so fast, it wouldn't be fun. So we would only, and the thing is, we would, and the real reason why Louis would kick us out, because we talked a lot of shit.
Oh, yeah. No, that is the one. They were sore losers. They were so, like, we were no, they would talk, not only would they talk so much shit, they would high five, and they would like,
really loud. Sorry, that was so loud. I just saw your sound just peak, just like.
They would do like the most aggressive like touchdown dances and shit like that. Like it was ridiculous. And the worst part about it, the one thing that I could never be satisfied with winning is when I won alone. and no one to celebrate with. So like that's the.
I would go to. I'd be like, hey,
I'm sorry, Louis. I didn't know you felt that.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. It's not. It doesn't feel as good. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Yeah. So
that's why you have to pop off just like they do. Be like, bitch, you suck.
But I'm not a pop off kind of personality though.
You have to.
Yeah.
If you play Smash, you have a pop off in you. You have it within you. It can happen. It just needs to be channeled.
Yeah. Like when I won Smash or Pass, I didn't pop off. You know what I mean? Like it just happened.
You gotta channel your inner pop off.
So, but you know, like that's just kind of it's just funny. It's like it's an interesting story. We like talk about like how we got game nights and all like have like a rotation of games. Like
I missed those game nights. Them was fun.
Dan was like good at Tekken, and like one of us would play like Injustice or Mortal Kombat, and like yeah.
But we need to bring back a game night where it's like variety now. That like say we could do like I have Clone Hero. We could do fucking Mario Chase, then we can put Jackbox on, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Jackbox is great.
Yeah, fucking
Jackbox is the new thing.
Press the button, bro. That game, we like murder that game. Like we have game nights at my house where we'll play Jackbox, but we'll preferably play Press the Button, which is that alien game where you kick somebody out, the imposter. It's like Among Us.
Yeah,
like,
that's the one that was like Among Us.
Yeah.
Like,
And we like the most recent time we played with like 10 and like we played with a whole 10 people. And it was the most berserk fucking time.
It's so fun.
And it was so loud. Like my ears were like fucking. Everybody was like, "Nah, you're fake." Like, "Nah, he's the fucking imposter." Everybody was choosing sides, and it was crazy.
Yeah,
but dude,
fun.
we played that game. Press the button so much. And Jackbox for real. There needs to be more type of games that are just like that, where you just sign in on your phone, and I don't know, it's that easy for everybody
It's
kind of to play.
communal. Like a lot of us, everybody.
They need to make Mario Party like that. Like,
yeah,
what the
like
fuck?
Dan doesn't have like when he plays like multiplayer games, he plays online, so he doesn't know what it's like to like have like couch co-op of like a lot of people.
I used to do that, but it's been a while. Like it's been a long time that I haven't done that. I guess like after you get older and like especially like us moving to California and then getting married, and then like a lot of my friends from college are all over the place now.
Right.
Yeah.
Friends from I'm really far from where I grew up and went to high school and shit. So yeah, I don't have like a group of like local friends, because like even the friends I have in LA, it's like everybody's like an hour apart. So,
Right,
And
exactly.
the thing is, I know that's true, because it's still hard for us to. We haven't had a game night in like.
Well, COVID. It's COVID, mostly COVID.
But
though.
even before COVID, like we wasn't having game nights
As often,
consistency.
yeah.
So like, and that's what everybody hears. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure they'll come back. I'm pretty sure. It's like it's not permanent. I think it's just only a matter of
We
time.
had a game night not too long
Yeah,
ago,
we
right?
did. It was like for like a throwback kind of old time sakes kind of thing. But yeah, those. I don't honestly tell you the truth. Like I feel like that's a good place to end the show. I mean, like I don't know. I mean, like what you got? Well, actually, you know what?
I don't know.
You know what? You know, we didn't let Leah. Leah, tell us your story, because we never actually heard it from you. Origin story about your time with gaming. First consoles, first memories. Like what are your tastes like? Thing like
Before
those
we
kinds of
start,
things.
can we turn off the ceiling fan? Because I'm freezing.
Go ahead, do it right there. It's that middle one. It's that middle switch. Middle. There you go. It's gonna get hot in here, by the way. I just want to let you know.
We could turn it back on.
Once it gets hot, okay.
Yeah. It's just right now I was like, I'm freezing. Like, but I don't want to interrupt anybody. So for gaming, my first console was the PS1 back when I was like 5, and I played Rayman primarily on it. That was like my favorite game to play. My mom even like, I liked it so much that she found out that there was a Rayman, like there's like, it was like around 2002 where they came out with like a math game that it was like you have to jump around and solve math problems while you're playing Rayman, and that's such a mom thing to do, to go and buy. Like
she told me that story once, and I was like, "What? I've never heard of that."
That's because nobody talks about it, because
Rayman math game.
It's like I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it was basically like that. I primarily played that, and there was a SpongeBob game that I played on the PS1. That I remember that my brother bought for me.
I think I know the game you're talking about.
I can't remember what it is.
Is it the one that got remade, like for the Rehydrated, or no?
No, it wasn't that one.
That was later on. That's the only PS1.
But that was primarily what I played, and then Then we got the PS2, and I used to play Star Wars Battlefront with my brother.
Hell yeah. That's a game right there.
I'm surprised I didn't bring up Star Wars Battlefront. How much I love that game.
Damn, I know. I still have the first one. I still play that shit, dude.
I think he whooped my ass in the Let's Play of Battlefront that we did.
Battlefront 2.
Yeah,
That's cool.
we did. Yeah.
And then what else did I play on the PS2? I think that was the first time I played Kingdom Hearts because that's my favorite game. If
Really?
you don't like,
It's a great game.
It's a really good game. I actually like Kingdom Hearts 1 more than I like 2, and I feel like most people disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I just can't stand the cutscenes in Kingdom Hearts 2. They're so long. Like,
Dude,
so
for
long.
real. Dude, I love that one, dude. That's my favorite one. Where you're just fucking laughing.
But I also, like, at that time frame, I didn't understand how to play games at all. So I remembered that I would be able to get to, like, the first island, Destiny Island, and you'd be running around on the boat and talking to different people. But I was, like, 6 and never really played games. And I was like, how do I get off the boat? And I never could figure out how to get off the boat. So until I was, like, in the 8th grade. Okay. Until I went back to it. I wasn't, like, continuing to try, like, every year or something.
Like every day she comes back from school, she's like, I gotta try to get off the island.
No, I couldn't even get to the part. I, like, since then have played the game, beat the game, understand now that it doesn't direct you to where you need to go, and I just didn't understand. That also happened a lot. I played a lot of, like, I had, like, the Game Boy Color, and there were a lot of games like that I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah.
There were no directions, and I didn't understand how to play. My brother picked it up so easily, but we basically just had, like, the PlayStation consoles, and the main console that I played, which I feel like is the case for, like, a lot of, like, women in my generation, was the Wii. I played a lot of, like, the Mario games. I played, there was a game called My Sims that I put, like, something like 50 hours into, and, like, it was basically, like, kind of like Animal Crossing, where it was, like, you build up this town, and, like, you find resources, and it was, like, so fun. I really liked that game.
That's a popular game, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Not just The Sims, but it was My Sims.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah, it's
different.
just like a variation of it.
Yeah, it was different. And then, I don't know. I played Guitar Hero like crazy.
Same.
Damn.
Like most people did. And it was more when I started getting older. I know that, like, I didn't really consider myself a gamer when I was younger, and I feel like it was because I would, like, look at all my guy friends who would all be like, I'm gonna play Call of Duty, and, like, then I'd be like, oh, I play games too, and then they'd be like, you're not a gamer. Like, or anything like that.
The graphics aren't as good.
Yeah, or something like that. But I did play games, like, the majority of the time throughout my days. And as an adult, then I started getting more into games, and especially after I started dating my now husband, Danny, I had a lot of access to games that I didn't have before, so I was able to try, because he has so many games, so I was able to try out a bunch of different kinds, and I figured out that I really like third-person action-adventure games, and I really like RPGs, and that's what, I didn't do it for him, it's just more my, like, actual, like, interest.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm, like, even more of a gamer than I was before.
That's
But
cool.
it's also because I have a lot of games to play. Didn't have to spend any money. It was great.
That's what Lewis became for me. He became my blockbuster. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted to play a game, I'd go up to a dresser and be like, "Hey, can I borrow this?" And I'd be like,
Yeah.
he'd be like,
Pretty
"All right."
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
What are you playing right now?
I'm playing Mass Effect. I'm on Mass Effect 2.
Ooh, Mass Effect 2 is so fucking good.
It's really
Oh
fun.
my god.
I really like Mass Effect 1. I feel
Just-
like that's not one that a lot of people liked, but I really liked that one. And when I went into Mass Effect 2, I was like, the controls are all different. I don't understand. but I've picked it up since then. I really like it. It's really fun. I'm like very, very angry that Jack is not romanceable by a woman. It hurts my heart. I'm in love with her. Every time I see her, I'm like, you're so cool. You can't look at Jack and be like, that woman. Yeah, that woman's straight. No.
You can look that up if you want to.
She has like a shaved head. She's like covered in tattoos. Like she's been to prison. No, I don't know. That part isn't like very queer, but like having like the shaved head and like being covered in tattoos is very like queer presenting. And so it's like she can only be romance with a man. Oh.
There's actually
they don't know what they have in this game.
I actually researched that because I was kind of curious about it too. So like they don't have like gay relationship options until I think Mass Effect 3. And on Mass Effect 2, they actually designed that character to be a gay character, and then they changed it last minute because they were afraid of the backlash. Yeah.
Bunch of wimps. Just like I look at it and I'm like, we could have had something special. Mic back.
I wanted to say something.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much. I've been playing Mass Effect. My dad just came and flew down, and he was here for a couple days, and he told me that he's never played Last of Us, but he really likes zombie shows, and so I pretty much like basically put a gun to his head and was like, "You're gonna play this game right now." So, and he ended up playing pretty far.
Nice.
I don't know how to.
That's a great game.
I'm sure he's gonna love the show.
Yeah. Because I kept telling him, I was like, it's so good. You're gonna like the show, but I want you to play the game. You're gonna play the game right now.
You know, I've never played it. I've never played one or two.
You have a PS4.
I know, and I've never played it. And then they're on, and I think they're on PS Plus, right?
Yes.
So I could. I've just dropped off on gaming. Like I never even had the. I have Fallen Order. I've had Fallen Orders for a year and a half, almost 2 years. I've never played it.
Damn.
So I'm just like, I just don't.
I beat half of the game before I put it down, but yeah. I had a pretty good feel of what it was.
Last of Us, the first one, a masterpiece.
The second one was trash.
I know what happens in the game.
I love the second one. I just want to put that out there.
The second one gets mixed reviews. Yeah, that's crazy. Because
I hear the second one.
But see, here's the thing though. With Last of Us 2, I don't hear like it was all right. I always hear it was great or I didn't like it.
Yeah, I feel like you just kind of got to play it and get your own opinion of it, because what they did is that they took some major risks, and for some people it hit and some people it didn't. So it's like, but it will either hit well or will hit very poorly, and it hit really poorly for Lewis, but I liked it.
Like from a technical and gameplay and like art perspective, it's a really good game. It's like very talented ass studio making a really good like ambitious spectacle, but the story was ass.
I feel like if you had like a high expectation for like where the story was going to go, I feel like that strongly affects the way that you enjoy it. If you didn't, I didn't have any expectations of what it was going to be. I went into it and I absolutely loved it. I thought the story was amazing. I thought it was a great representation of like empathy between like everybody has like, it's like on a grayscale instead of being bad or good, and how people can like become the bad person because they went through bad experiences. Mm-hmm. It's a
matter of like being a villain. A villain is a matter of perspectives. What the game was trying to say, but for me, it didn't land. But
that kind of sounds like the Star Wars thing. Like with Force Awakens, everybody expected the story to be something, and then when it wasn't, it's just they didn't
subvert expectations.
Like I don't like it if it's not this. So.
But you can play guitar in the second one. I like that.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought that
was actually pretty good.
I would watch YouTube videos of people just playing actual songs on the game. It's so cool. I'm like, how the fuck do you
And then
do
the
that?
touchpad, you strum it. Like you strum the guitar strings. So cool. Like, oh, yeah.
I got a quick like this or that question for everybody here in this panel because I'm kind of curious at where it's going to lean. PlayStation or Xbox?
Oh,
Troy.
Man.
I'm gonna say Xbox.
I knew you were gonna say that.
All right.
I say.
I'm gonna say I don't know because it's like I had an Xbox One when it came out and I never played it, so I've definitely fallen off the Xbox wagon. Even though I like the original and the 360. I mean, I'll put those against. I don't know. Original to me, like the Xbox exclusives back in the day, Halo. Nah, I don't know. I have a PlayStation now, bro, and I gotta say where it stands right now. I don't have a PS5. I don't have a fucking
Series X or
Series X or S. but I have a PS4 Pro, and I guess with now having both the Pro and an Xbox One, I guess I'm PlayStation right now because that's what I have. I mean, then that's what I play, and I've grown accustomed to it. But if I was to get like I said, if I get an S, it would only be for one thing,
Yeah.
So I gotta say PlayStation then.
I'm gonna say PlayStation easily, hands down. That's not to say I've only got my first Xbox was just the Xbox One, and it's not that I didn't think like the Xbox was trash or anything like that. It's just like most of the library, like especially the exclusives, they don't really speak to me like the way PlayStation games do. So for me, PlayStation all the way.
Yeah, because I mean, and then like same with like that new Ratchet and Clank game. I finally played it, and it was so fucking fun. Like I had so much fun with that shit.
Leah,
You want to answer?
I think I picked PlayStation. Yeah, but the funny thing is that I'm began leaning more Xbox now, but because my entire history was more with PlayStation, like my entire life, I always played more PlayStation, and only now I'm beginning to get into Xbox. I think I'll be lying if I just said Xbox. I'll be like a poser. I'm still like. Most of my gaming time was PlayStation, and I think most of the things that will get me like to jump off my seat are probably more likely to come from PlayStation than Xbox.
Yeah.
But I am starting to get into Xbox a lot more, actually.
Well, then I guess I should change my answer. Because if I'm gonna go off of that, and it is true though. Like I've only had a PS4 and briefly a PS2 and a PS3 that I never used. So I would say that I've gotten the most joy out of Xbox. So I switch it to Xbox.
So 2 Xbox, 2 PlayStations. Leah, you're the tiebreaker.
No, that's a complicated answer. I don't have one strongly. I used to have one strongly where it was PlayStation because, like I said, all of the different consoles I named were like either PlayStation or Nintendo consoles that I played when I was growing up. However, as like I've gotten older and then my husband, it works in the games industry, and we know a bunch of people who are game developers, and I've noticed that the tendency is that Xbox is a lot better of a company to work with, and they're a lot more like inviting for indie developers. And so my heart feels like I should like Xbox more, So I feel like I want to support the company more. So that I feel like I want to say Xbox, despite the fact, because I've heard that PlayStation will be like, I don't care if you don't have any money, you have to spend like $3,000 on a dev kit just to put it on our thing, or like 20,000. I can't remember how much it was, but I know that I was like, what? when they told me that. So Xbox.
All right.
Yeah, I like Xbox because of that too, because they were the early arcade, like back in Xbox Arcade, like they were the early. That's the reason I played so many fucking indie games that I would find later on like a PC. That'd be
Braid
like
or something like that.
Yeah, there's just a ton of. They were really early on, like the people that fuck with smaller developers.
Yeah, it's funny because like at first it was Xbox that started, like you said, like doing things with indie developers, and then I feel like there was a time frame where PlayStation took a little bit of that mental, especially like during the beginning of the PS4.
Yeah,
there's like a lot of indies on PS4, but nowadays they've kind of abandoned it a little bit. Now it's more like Xbox and Nintendo of all companies.
I know, yeah, it's huge on it.
Which it's kind of surprising because like back in the day, I feel like indies were not really big on Nintendo, but the Switch has like all the great indies are on the Switch now.
For real, there's so many. I mean, basically any indie now that's on Steam is there.
Part of my the reason why I chose Xbox because since I've had every console up and from the first Xbox to the to the Xbox Series X, and I haven't had every PlayStation, but I've always had someone that has it.
Right.
Right. And like I kind of going off the specs. Like if you really go back and look, even though the PlayStation 2 was much more popular, the Xbox was more of a powerful and slightly better machine. I mean, if you're non-biased about it, I'm sure PlayStation. But if you go back and look, the graphics were better on the Xbox versus the PS2.
Yeah, but it was bleeding Xbox money or Microsoft money.
Right, and then Xbox introduced Live. Or whatever, and you look at that, and then if you look at the 360, the whole Red Ring of Death kind of hurt that.
360 sucked when it came out. It was terrible.
Well, actually, no, it wasn't. Well, with the Red Ring of Death, yeah, right. Yeah, but like the 360 was the only generation that had a chance to sell out the PlayStation, But I think the Red Ring of Death hurt it. But really, because the 360 was really a really great console.
When the Elite dropped, that the Elite Xbox, that was the
that was like the S model. I think.
That was the shit.
That's what I got when I first got it.
And then I think Xbox took a huge L with the Xbox One generation. Yeah. And I think that's what really kind of set them so far back. You know what I mean? Especially with the launch of the Xbox One. You know, and the PS4 did so well, and with the exclusives, and it just blew. Last generation PlayStation just blew them out so bad.
Oh, yeah, they did.
But with this generation, I feel like Xbox is coming back. It's so many things that like, you know, like it's pro-consumer with the Xbox, and there's just so many things about the Xbox that I'm liking more than the PS5. So, you know, I just kind of like go back and like look at the whole slate of their, you know, resume, and then that's kind of why I go with that.
No, I get it.
And then right now, isn't like it's still basically impossible to get a PS5?
Yeah.
And you can get it.
Xbox too. Though.
Same Xbox, same.
Yeah, with
the Series S is more easier to find. The Series X is hard to find.
Series X, okay. The big tower looking one.
Yeah.
The Series S is crazy cheap though.
Yeah.
As well,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I should just.
It's a lot of power for such a low price. I will say that.
It's the best value for console gaming for sure.
Yeah.
I think the main issue with it is the very low storage, because I think it only has like 500 gigs of storage or something.
And you can't just use external drive.
Not
Even if it's
I mean, you
solid-state
can
drive?
use an external drive for like Xbox One games.
Yeah,
but then not anything that's Series exclusive or Series made games. It doesn't have the fast enough load times to do it.
I don't know what they were thinking about making the thing so
the memory
expensive.
card, the memory cards, yeah. It's basically it's an SSD, and it's basically made with the read and write speeds of like the faster.
Yeah, so
I mean, and
spec
it's made
wise, I can see like
and
that's
it's made
impressive. Like, you know,
and it's made by a company like one of their partners, or whatever. So it's like made like a brand. Forgot, it's exclusive. So they can charge whatever the hell they want because it's proprietary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just don't like how I think Game Pass is so dope, and when it comes to the PlayStation, it's like their games are so expensive. Like, you know what I mean? Well, all games now are being more expensive, but with Game Pass, it just makes it seem so much easier to have access to a lot of games. You know, so
Shit, bring back Movie Pass.
AMC A-list. So that's like where it's at right now.
Cinemark Movie Club.
There's one other thing here on Dan's notes that Dan wants to know about. He wants to know what it's like to be my friend. He wants to know what it's like.
I don't know what it's like to be your friend, but I know what it's like to be your cousin.
All right,
no,
go for it.
You're my friend, Leah, of course. No, man, I've known you all my life, and I don't know, man. It's like I met a lot of my friends through you. I met Troy through you, and like I met everybody at AMC through you and shit. But man, I think you're a chill dude. I don't ever have a problem hanging out with you. Other than the time that I didn't talk to you for a year.
Yeah, other than the time I pissed you off, but yeah.
The way I picture that is they said, "I won't talk to you for a year."
And that's what
to the day.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that's kind of how it was. Yeah, honestly, I was just like, "Hey, so it's been a year." You have anything to say?
No, the worst part was I was chasing his validation that entire year, where I was like, "Hey, Joel, man, what's up?" And he's like giving me like the cold shoulder and stuff.
Yeah, but nah, man,
because we'd go to like birthday parties and it's at his house or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's like a cousin's.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, like
thing,
it's easy to be around you because we both share a lot of the same interests. So it's like I could always be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" We don't necessarily hang out a lot now. Yeah. But like if I ever wanted to be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I know you're all. I think we share some days off too, so I could just be like, "Do you want to just play this?" Or we could even just make a video. Because back then we would just like be like, "Do you want to just do a podcast or do you hang out and do this?" Like we filmed the podcast at my house because I was just like, "Dude, we should film this podcast at my house."
Ready to play movies.
Yeah, I was like,
it was our highest rated one. Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to do shit like that. So it's like. It's easy to hang out with you, and I know even from like my friend Sam who came in, he was just like, "Yeah, dude, Lewis, he seems like a cool dude. Him and Troy seem like really chill. Like they just like what they're doing. They know what they're doing." And I was just like, "Yeah, man, like they're just easy to be around. Like that's why I've hung out with them. Because you could have been like my cousin who I only see little by little, and I have a relationship with you like that's just a cousin.
Yeah.
But we're friends, and we obviously have hung out for over a decade." like consistently and shit. So shit, we started a Smash tournament. Like we have the same.
Yeah, we co-founded Smasher Pass. Yeah.
I don't know. It's easy, man.
I
think you're a good dude.
I was honestly not expecting that because I was thinking that he was gonna talk shit about me and be like, "Man, Lewis is so headstrong. He's a bitch."
He's a bitch.
The funny thing
I
is,
run this bitch.
You just asked that question how I wrote it, but the context in which I was thinking when I wrote that is that like, there's something about the fact that like Lewis just put together like everyone like the camera over there and the other cameras and the mics and everything, and that he's been doing this like for like many years, and I always wondered what it was like to be like, I don't know, like the friend, like if you guys like, if it was the kind of thing that you guys like rolled your eyes at, like, oh, there's Lewis again, like setting up something we have to do, whatever, like, or if it was more like, I don't know, like you like being part of it. Obviously, they're not going to say they don't. But I mean, it's like
no. Like even when I see Lewis like do shit like this, where you could easily just have set up just one camera and been like whatever.
Right.
But I think Lewis always tries to kind of be extra, but at the same time, it always does like having two extra cameras. I was like, yeah, it makes it just a little better, a little cooler, and even if it just takes a little more. I think Lewis is always. I think you're always trying to add a little more production value, especially since you first started. I think your production value has gone up, and even like I think I'm there with you too in the same way that I just kind of want to like. What?
Oh, snap! You got an alarm.
I don't know why it won't stop. No, yeah, like that's why like when you came through, I was like, oh, well, you're gonna have your equipment, and I was like, dude, we should do even more. And I was like, Sam. Bring all your shit. Bring all the shit.
Yeah,
Sam,
ready
and he straight up bought shit off Amazon only for that one use, and he was just like, "Here, Lewis, you can have my stuff."
Like this mic stands right here.
Yeah, like mic stand.
Cool.
He just gave him.
He gave me these.
I was just like, "What?"
Yeah.
And so, no, man. I think that brings out even. It makes more people look at you. I think as like, oh, this guy cares at least enough to want to put some production value into his stuff. And so then that makes everybody else kind of want to do the same. So we kind of build on top of you, and that's what Sam did, where we put all these fucking lights, and it looked like when we built that set in my house, it looked like legit. I was like, damn, this shit is crazy.
You said Ready to Play Movies. I think it was episode 10. I said it was like this crazy background.
I have like exposed brick in my house, and so we just used the exposed brick as the perfect backdrop. Yeah. With like it was just lit up like crazy. I'd never been on anything like that. So
his apartment looked like a studio. Like
it really did. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And we were all getting drunk and fucking doing that shit. But,
and man, I'm like super like upset like how Joel showed me his music setup, his like production studio. Like it's so lit, it's so badass as fuck. And like he showed me like unreleased tracks, and I'm like, God damn, these are so good. But like. And like one of the things like I'm gonna just throw this on blast right here, but like there's a song that I wish he would release like on like you know SoundCloud.
I don't know what you're talking about either.
There's a song I wish he would release on SoundCloud and would give no context, but it's a song about hanging out with Troy.
Oh yeah.
And then the chorus is like I'm chilling with Troy. I'm hanging out with Troy. That is a hit. And like that's a bop. And I'm like, oh my god, that was such a good song. But it doesn't make sense because you have to know like the crew, but it doesn't. Like to the everyone else out there, it's like, who the fuck is this Troy guy? You know what I mean? Like, what's so special?
How often do you listen to songs and you go and look at the lyrics and it doesn't really make any sense?
That's true.
But Troy acted like he was like a rapper. He was out here like looking like a Terrence Howard, like hustle and flow kind of shit. Because he did like a verse, and I'm like, whoa, shit, that was loud fire. Troy did a verse on his own song, like I'm hanging out with Troy. You know?
That was fun.
Yeah,
that
it was
during
one
COVID.
We were just bored during COVID, and Troy was staying at my house for a couple months, and we're all living together. So I was like, "Yo, do y'all want to?" I was like, "Y'all want to just hang out tonight and drink and just I'll take all my studio stuff to the back apartment. We just record a song all night." And we recorded like a song for like 6 or 7 hours, and then we finally sat down. We're like, "I think we're done," and then we just hit play, and we just sat there. And we're all like. We were all having that fucking good time. We made the most out of COVID.
That was a good song, like goddamn. But
it's still there. I just haven't,
Yeah, it's not released or anything. Like he's got a lot of. I've listened to a lot of unreleased stuff. He's got beats on beats on beats. So.
Yeah, for sure. Joe got a lot of talent.
That could be like our outro. This
I was just thinking the same thing.
But hanging out with Troy as the outro the song of this episode.
You feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Troy, what's your answer to the question? What is it like hanging out with me or whatever?
I don't like to.
No, this is what Troy said.
I don't fuck with
I completely disagree with that.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, you know, I've known Lewis for like over
10
10
years?
years now. Yeah, so it kind of started. We always watched movies. He worked at the movies. I always been a big movie guy. You know,
I got him into the movie. I got him to employee screenings like a couple of times.
Then got me into the movies multiple times. You know, Louis just, me and him get along very well, even though we're really different. And I think that's what's so cool about our, like, friendship. Like, we're not the same. And and it's cool because, like, you don't got to be the same as people to be friends with them. If you're a good person and I'm a good person and we cool. Like, you know, so many people feel like, oh, we got to relate. No, you know what I'm saying? So we always been cool. I have a YouTube channel. He used to, like, long time ago help me with, you know, my YouTube channel. You know, he'll let me use his equipment or whatever the case may be. And, yeah, we just always been cool over the years now. So, you know, that's my homie.
Yeah. All my friends always say that I'm the real one and all that stuff. And like, you know, it's cool to have that title and all. But what's really interesting is, like, whenever we used this house one time, we threw, when Troy wanted to go find himself in Iowa, I
moved to Iowa. I've been all
he wanted to go eat, pray, love, and shit like that. In Iowa, yes. And then we threw him a going away party here at this house, and like we had like this big ass banner that says goodbye, and everyone signed it and everything like that. We took pictures, and then he came back like 6 months later, shit like that or whatever.
It was like a year later.
But
And that surprise, I literally didn't know that y'all actually did a good job.
We were all behind his back.
Because
like,
you know, most surprise parties, you be like, oh, sure. You know, it's like, it's a surprise. But, like, I was really surprised. I was like, damn. Yeah, so that was great. But, me and Louis always got along well, you know.
Yeah.
How long have you known Louis? For, like, at least 10 years.
I think I met him in either 2010 or
2011. Somewhere in there. One of those two. Yeah, because Tony got hired onto the movie theater in 2009.
Well, it might have been earlier because when did the Fast and Furious 4 come out? Not 5.
09.
You mean
09.
Fast and
When
Furious?
did it come out?
Yeah,
Fast 4 came out in 09, but like in 08, Tony got hired onto the movie theater, and through Tony, I met you and Victor and Tintu and Tipsy.
So we're saying 08. Well, that was a long time ago. I'm like, 08. Obama.
But
what a time.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it. Let's sign it up. I think we hit it. I think it's time to end it. So I guess it's time to sign out. It's sort of hitting me just now. Like I was like, oh shit, this shit's real. All right, it's time to sign out. So thank you so much for joining us for another episode, a special episode of Ready Press Play. This has been episode 100, or as Tim Geddes would say, the first and last ever episode 100 of Ready Press Play.
You gotta get over it.
Yeah, man. No more shout outs.
Kind of funny. I'm sorry. But I'm going to put on the bottom screen, I'm going to put everyone's Twitter handles over here so you guys can see it from left to right and everything like that. So there's no need to give Twitter shout outs. The links are going to be in the description for everyone's Twitters. And yeah, I think, Dan, any other parting words?
This was great. It's been great doing these 100 episodes with you, even though right now we've only done
89. 89.
I hope we don't get into a big fight over the next 10 minutes.
For real.
Or something, but no, this
right? The series ends in like episode 95 or something like that or whatever. Yeah.
I wanted to do this for fun, and I picked you because I knew you'd be a good, partner for it, and it's been a lot of fun, and it was great doing this with these guys and finally meeting them and getting to talk about games and having Leah here too, because that was part of the journey. So yeah. All right. Thanks everybody that listened or watched or anything else.
Yeah. See you
Thanks
guys.
for having us.
See ya. Bye.
Peace.
Happy 100.
I think I might just rotate it like this. I think that's easier.
Okay.
Do we need to be like really close to it for it to pick up well?
Yeah.
It looks
It
like
picks up better.
Okay. All right.
So when you gotta be all up on it, like it sounds much like the difference in volume is.
Okay. So you recommend I do it like this?
Yeah.
Not like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. No, you just hold it if you want to.
As a sexist joke, you're the only woman here, so the women the women are seen but not heard.
Careful with that, you might get canceled. Oh
Man, make sure you delete that audio. Before it leaks out, it get leaked.